The following is a presentation of The Day.
A rainy day gives way to an overcast but relatively dry night on the campus of Fitch High School in Groton, Connecticut, as the Waterford High School Lancers travel over the bridge to play the Fitch Falcons in an ECC battle, and all the action is live for you on Game Day. Game Day is brought to you by Waterford Dental Health, solutions for all your dental needs. All that's good begins with a smile. When you visit our office, your smile is our top priority. Our entire team is dedicated to providing you the personalized dental care you deserve, so visit waterforddentalhealth.com. Casey O'Neill, along with the coach, Pasta Santabria, and I'll tell you, after a day where I needed flippers and a rubber ducky, I was pretty happy to get here tonight and see a relatively dry conditions. I was down on the field, and it's about as good as you can hope for.
Well, I was nervous because Mother Nature this morning was unbelievable, and the energy, and I heard all the stories from my friends in New York City with the flooding. But tonight it's beautiful. The sunset really doesn't matter, and I good to say, though, that this field is really set up for a good game tonight.
Yeah, I was down on the field, and I was trying to kind of see how squishy it was, and Coach Ellis said he was very pleased with how the field held up. I think there will be some slipping tonight. There will be some, both coaches were preaching, check your feet, cleats, see where it is. Mm-hmm. So we'll see. Fitch to kick off left to right, and the boot goes down the hash, and it's taken by Noah Westcott. Westcott will get up to the 40-yard line, and that's where the Waterford Lancers will have its first possession. They come in at 1-2. Tough first game loss to Notre Dame, a Fairfield really good team. They put a thumping on Montville and then lost in what was the game of the week last week, 34-33 to now undefeated Stonington. They are led, of course, by new quarterback, junior Jax Higgins. He'll have junior Brady Sutman in the backfield, the very dangerous Quinn Speller, and the aforementioned Noah Westcott as his main targets. And he'll be going up against a very stout Fitch defensive line, led, of course, by Gianni Drab. Motion man is Speller. Handoff goes to Sutman. He bounces it outside and gains only a yard or two. That Fitch defense, we saw them on display beating up on New London in a 34-21 victory. And quarterback Ben Perry said they were going to dominate teams. They went and found out when they played North Haven the next week what domination's about. They lost 58-28. So this is a big bounce back game for the defense of the Falcons tonight more than anything.
Yeah, definitely they have to step it up.
2nd and 8. Higgins trips left. Throws it in the flat to Westcott, and it's complete. Nope, they're going to say it hit the turf. So incomplete. It'll bring up 3rd and long. Wind is light right now, but the ball's going to get wet every single play. So talk a little bit about your experience, how you keep a ball dry, and who's the most important person down there tonight.
Well, if this is done during the week, we practice during the week with some wet balls, and we always have someone assigned. Usually the ball boys, if they're really good at it, are the ones that keep those balls dry and rotating when the coach needs it.
3rd and 8. Trip receivers to the right now. Single down low for Higgins. Higgins to throw. And incomplete, looking for Westcott cutting across the field. He was defended by Bussey. And that'll bring up a 4th down, and Waterford will have to punt. So a good first series for the Falcons.
Definitely a good job with the defense there. I think both sides are going to learn how to keep your footing. We talked about it earlier. Footwork is going to be the key, and also maintaining gap control. So if that works out in their favor, they'll do well tonight.
One of the premier players, exciting, Adonis Fine, stands at his own 20-yard line awaiting the punt for Fitch. He is a playmaker and has lit it up on game day multiple times. Good snap. And the punt is away. Fine's going to get a chance to return it, but he's going to let it bounce as it heads to the sideline, and it takes a great Waterford bounce. So probably a bad decision by Fine. It's going to be a great punt for Waterford. It's going to set Fitch up 1st and 10 inside their own 10-yard line at the 8-yard line. I think Fine had a chance to return that.
Yeah, he had a chance, but I think right now everybody's playing a little tedious with this weather. It always starts off like that. They didn't have any experience like this before in the other games, so yeah, he played it safe there.
Well, if you had a first-year quarterback, Jax Higgins, now we've got our veteran quarterback, Ben Perry. He has been leading this Fitch offense for 3 years now and is as good as anyone in the league at maintaining his composure and control, owning the offense. The offense unquestionably is Perry's. Perry keeps it himself and is slammed to the ground. Loss on the play. Sam Vasquez, it looks like, on the tackle for Waterford. Check that. That was, in fact, Devin Powers in from his linebacker spot, as well as Vasquez. So a little double team action for the Lancers. I'm going to say no gain. Perry got back to the line of scrimmage, so second down. This time, fullback dive in a big hole straight up the middle. Devin Cook, the freshman, with a gain. I think that's going to be enough to move the chains, and it is 10 yards for the freshman.
Assignment football, when you're running that option kind of game, the defense has to be aware they're responsible for a certain person. And at that point, that first time, they let that fullback go. I think the guys up top found out that that was visible, and that's how they got that big play in.
Falcons break the huddle, 1st and 10 from their own 20.
1st and 10 Falcons, ball at the 20-yard line.
Motion right.
Perry going to throw, pressured, and he'll be sacked. Powers, the first one there and the only one there for Waterford as he got to Perry. So I think from what I've seen, you're going to see Powers. I don't know if he's spying Perry or not, but Powers is clearly locked in on Perry.
Yeah, and the defensive line is making movement. They're not just playing hard gap, and that's what's going to be a problem for the offensive lineman. When you have someone stunt in front of you and you got to get the other person coming around and your footwork's not there, that can cause a lot of trouble.
2nd and 15. Motion. Fullback dive again. Big hole for Cook. Cook first down. Crosses the 35-yard line. Almost to the 40-yard line. Big run for the freshman, Devin Cook.
Very strong run, man. He has his shoulder pad level low. Got that ball and went right through that second level like butter.
You know, for all the talk of the speed of the Falcons on the wings, it's always been the fullback that's been the key to that Falcon offense. Pitch to Fine on the left sideline. He has a first down before he's bumped out of bounds. So Falcons inside-outside combination of Cook and Fine.
Yeah, the Falcons offense is right now playing a step ahead. This is good coaching that's connecting and communicating with that offensive team. They know right now that that defense is going to squeeze in because they can't stop the fullback, and then let the next play be an outside play for a great gain.
The Falcons have had a great run of fullbacks throughout the years, a combination of power and speed. They've had a bunch of different types of fullbacks, but always a danger. Fullback dive, and you hit those outside plays. Fine fakes, stays instead. Now motion comes in the other direction. Perry's going to keep it himself, and he's going to get brought down very quickly. Eden Alexander in on the tackle, so it's going to be 2nd and long.
Yeah, both teams are right now picking up that energy. Little physical blocking play by the wide receivers there.
Bring up a 2nd and 10 for the Falcons from the Lancer.
Talking with Coach Seth Nolda of Waterford, I said, how much does the weather impact what you guys want to do? And he said, we want to throw it more than they do, but really their offense is more RPO runs with Higgins and Sutton. For the Falcons, this is ideal weather for Coach Ellis. He said this is a chance for the line to step up. And there they do, making a big hole for Cook, and Cook's going to have another first down. The freshman Devin Cook moving the chains for the Falcons.
Casey, you called it. It's about the line play right now. And that offensive line got right under the underpads of those Lancer players and pushed them back. So, yes, this is definitely favoring that whole offensive team.
Into Waterford territory at the 35-yard line. Falcons 1st and 10. Perry runs option, gets it out to his back, and Carter gets about 5. Decent gain for Porter Carter, but I thought he had a little more, but the tackle from Speller got him with one hand.
Definitely. Speller played the outside leverage, and as soon as he broke off the play, he made a great tackle. Otherwise, that's going to be a lot of yards.
Coach Ellis has been saying for years, but particularly this season, that his line play, he wants them to step up and become the staple of the team, right? That's when Fitch is at its best. It's when their line is efficient.
Yes.
And this is the game where he thinks that they need to show that. Perry's going to throw, rolls to his left. Now he's going to keep it himself, and he's hit immediately and brought down almost back to the original line of scrimmage. A couple of Lancers, including Gabe Van Overloop, in on that tackle.
Yep.
And, you know, on the other side, Waterford's got a bunch of young linemen. They've got some size, but you're looking at, you know, Barnhill's a sophomore, and you're looking at 72 Vasquez is a freshman. So they're trying to get some. They have size, but they're young.
Yeah.
I talked to Coach Nolden, and he said for the first time in he doesn't know how many years there were more linemen in the freshman class than there were skill players. So the future's bright, but you know right now they're young, and the Falcons a veteran group. Perry kept it himself and nothing there, and this is exactly the down and distance Waterford wants to get Fitch into. It's going to be 4th and long.
Yeah, strong running teams, you know, the lack part of the effort is just the way the Fitch offense runs. Sometimes puts himself in a situation like this. Those 3rd and longs, those 4th and longs that you can have a second chance to do, you know, it's really difficult to call a pass play instead of it being a play action setup.
Well, we saw against New London, Fitch is not afraid to run those play actions, put the the fake in and throw the football. I think Waterford knows that. They've been keeping a safety high, which London crept up the whole night long.
Motion right.
4th down, handoff to Cook, and he's going to be right at the sticks, but I think he's going to be about half a yard short. Waterford defense will hold, and it'll be a turnover on downs. Lancers, nice job. They'll get the football back.
Definitely a good job for the Lancers. That takes the momentum right now and shifts it over into their favor.
So you mentioned the flooding in Brooklyn, New York. There's, New York's just declared a state of emergency. I looked out at my house, outside of my house today, and wondered, whether this game was going to happen. But overall, most of the games tonight are going to get off on time and at the local places. We'll get scores to you when we have them. 1st down, Higgins to throw in the flat. It's intercepted by Fine, and he is an Adonis, and he's so fine. Pick 6, Falcons on top.
What a play.
Higgins, an ill-advised throw into the flat, sailed right into the arms of Adonis Fine, and if you put him in space, you are not going to win that race. And yeah, I rhymed that one on purpose. 6-0 Falcons.
Great job. The defense made a great defensive call with having an under player, which probably the quarterback thought, if I throw it over his head, it'll be okay. But he overthrew it, got the pick 6 there.
Here comes the Falcons muddle huddle. I always think of Muddy Buddies, which are delicious. And when you say muddle huddle, so I'd like some in a bag, please. Snap is low, kick is up, and it is good. And with 5:33 remaining in the first period, the Falcons defense steps up and puts them on top 7-0. We'll be back. You're watching Game Day live on theday.com. Well, as we head into a brand new season on Game Day, we want something brand new to come to all of you as well. Game Day launching its merchandise store for the first time. Now, as you know, greatness has no off-season, and Game Day has no off-season either. We're always working to provide you the best we can do, and that includes great merch. So come on into the merchandise store for Game Day. As the season progresses, who knows who's going to say what that'll make it onto the next Game Day t-shirt. Find out in the merch store. We've seen Fitch twice this year. Their defense has played brilliantly and very similar to when we saw New London, and their defense stepped up with a fumble recovery on the first play. The Falcons' defense can lead the charge. North Haven, when we interviewed Ben Perry 2 weeks ago, he said, well, we're going to find out where we stand. Defending state champions and a team that beat Killingly, and we knew that they were going to be good, and they were everything that Fitch saw and thought they needed to step up to be. So it was a great learning experience for the Falcons. A game like this is an opportunity, as Coach Ellis said, for his team to get kind of not only right the ship, but continue to get that identity. And they want to be physical, defensive, and stout. Onside kick. It's rolling free. Guys are diving on it. Falcons think they have it. Was he in bounds? The officials will wait for their signal. Falcons definitely recovered it, but were they in bounds when they did? Let's see what the officials say.
Really close play right there, and plus the sidelines had all those Falcons cheering.
The longer it takes, the less likely the Falcons are to get the football. But right on cue, they got it. Well, I said the longer it takes. It didn't take that long at all.
That was a long, long time ago when you said that.
Falcons football at the 45-yard line of the Lancers. So what do you do after you take the lead? You come right back and get the ball back to your offense.
It's an old philosophy that many years we've always teach our kids, 0 points after a turnover or exchange like that, and they got 6 and they got that ball back again. They're playing aggressive.
Fine in motion. Perry hands it to his up back. That's Bussy, and nothing there. Good job by the interior of the Waterford line. Freshman Sam Vasquez first there for the Lancers.
What a great play. He basically used both hands to stop the double team and then threw him away and made the play. Great job.
So I know we had a big one in Stonington tonight, East Lyme and Stonington. That's going to be another benchmark game for the ECC. 2nd and 10.
2nd and 10 for the Falcons.
Motion man, Perry pulls it out of Bussy's stomach, keeps it himself, and he's wrestled and wrapped for a loss. Powers, first one there again. It's going to be 3rd and 10 for the Falcons.
Kudos to the Waterford scheme. They're running a 4-4 defense, so they have pretty much every gap covered and also responsible to make sure that they have the fullback and a pitch player there.
And that is, I know they're keying that safety, waiting. If they can get him to creep, we're going to see them pop one of those to probably McCoy, who's the number 1 receiver. But right now, patient. And Waterford doing a good job. Westcott has maintained that discipline.
Motion to the right.
Perry to throw. There he is, deep, looking for McCoy. Drops it in. McCoy brings it down. What a catch by Calvin McCoy. 1st and goal, Falcons. Perry put it where only McCoy could catch it, but McCoy went up and battled for the football and wrestled it to the ground.
Oh boy, McCoy with a catch. Unbelievable, right over the top. First of all, the ball was thrown perfect. Right over the shoulder, and he made a great catch.
1st and goal, Falcons. Get it in your playmaker's hands. Here goes jet sweep to Fine, showing his speed to the outside, looking for the pylon. 2 times, Adonis Fine, touchdown, Falcons.
Woo! What a great offensive series right there. You called it. We're talking about the safety. If he was going to suck in, he actually started creeping into the beginning of the play, trying to focus on run. And right there, just that inch, that pass play was unbelievable. Forced them to kind of go in defense, not thinking of what they need to do. Then there's the outside stretch.
Defensive touchdown, onside kick, 3rd and 10 conversion.
Yep.
That's a disheartening series for Waterford. Yep. Falcons couldn't ask for anything more.
Definitely pops the spirit. Definitely does.
Snap low, kick up, kick is through and true, and with 3:49 remaining in the first, it's 14-0 Falcons. We got a lot more action coming your way. You're watching Game Day live on theday.com. Fall is here, which means it's time for Game Day's Great 8, the best 8 plays of the week submitted by you, the viewers, on any of our social media platforms. You send us the best videos from practice or the game, any sport in the fall, and we might see about putting it on the Great 8 of the week. $14-0 Falcons at home against the Lancers. 3:49 remaining in the first. Casey O'Neill along with the coach, Pasta Sanabria, and we said, Fitch, tough team to kind of know exactly what they are. They dominated against New London. They struggled against North Haven, not surprising, but the first 2 wins, Thames River and New London, were against teams that, quite frankly, they should beat. And they did. So we need to find out more about them. This is their biggest litmus test to date. Falcons to kick off. Squib up the middle. It's loose, and Speller will fall on it for Waterford.
This is a very big challenge for Waterford. We know Waterford is a successful team when they have pretty much everything in their favor, when they're actually competing and running those plays fluently. But right now, the momentum has changed and definitely put them in a situation where they're going to be a little, anxious, and we don't want that to happen for them.
So first down, Lancers. They have struggled to move the ball. They have not had a first down, and in fact, a pick 6 on their previous possession.
First and 10 from their own
Let's see if
33.
Higgins can get them going. Let's see if they rely on Spellman.
Wide.
Speller in motion. Higgins is going to keep it himself.
Quarterback keeps it up the middle.
Breaks it outside,
Still on his feet.
and still on his feet, and gets almost to the stick. So
Higgins takes
tough
it.
run by Jax Higgins.
Definitely a good start for the offense.
9 on the play.
You know, one good thing that I think has, a good advantage for the Falcons is that you could practice on grass and, get your footing together. When you have a school that's primarily turf, you don't have that experience, and that's where the disadvantage comes in. So, Waterford has to continue to build their confidence and get control from the feet on up.
I'll tell you, after this play on 2nd and 1, a funny anecdote regarding the grass.
Three receivers split to the left for the Lancers. Higgins
High snap, but it comes down to Sutman. Sutman might get to those sticks. He's going to have a first down. Inadvertent direct snap to Sutman, but what a heads-up play by the junior, and Brady Sutman moves the chains.
Wow, neuromuscular structure. He just saw it up in the air, grabbed it, and hit to the corner. Great effort, great effort.
To your point about the grass, Bacon Academy doesn't have turf. They have grass field. And the boys soccer coach, Skip Starks, he said that, not only do we have an advantage when teams come to us because it's slower.
Yes.
You have to, and how you play really changes on grass. He's like, not to mention, we let that thing grow a couple inches.
Yes. By the way, I got to cut my grass.
Shotgun, 3 receivers split to the right for the Lancers.
Higgins
Quarterback fumbled
on the turf. He was trying to get it to Sutman, and it's loose.
Still loose.
Falcons say they have it. Do the officials concur? They do. A turnover. Falcon ball. Second time the defense has turned them over, and the Falcons will have it right at midfield.
Wow, that's tough for them right now. We talk about quarterback center exchanges throughout the weeks. We've been noticing there's been a lot of, that mistake-minded kind of attitude with ball exchanges and stuff like that. You got to be a coach and understand, rotate those footballs in dry for your quarterback.
Perry brings him out, 1st and 10.
1st and 10 right from midfield.
Motion to the right.
Perry fakes the toss, going to go for the jugular. Deep throw, McCoy wide open, and it's off his hands. He had everyone beat. The ball was there. It was just to the other shoulder.
Pass on the play.
Another almost highlight. Unbelievable. The safety again, it's a tough decision. As you can see, the running game is really effective, and he's sitting there cleaning his cleats and not realizing that they're running a vertical right by him. Got to be disciplined.
I'll tell you right now, that's a ball that Calvin McCoy catches probably 8 out of 10 times just off his hands. He had his head turned in the wrong direction, but I love Fitch. They are going to try to capitalize every time they can on momentum.
Perry gives to the fullback.
Hand up, fullback dive, not much there. Run that time was from Edwards, and he got about a yard, maybe 2.
Edwards with the carry on play. Gain
Hey,
of
Casey, I love this sunset right here in this field. It's got this beautiful purple hue. Must be the purple rain that's coming down. I did a jump start on you because I know you're ahead of the game. So there you go, bingo, on the first quarter.
Let's go crazy. So, ball is at the 48-yard line of Waterford, 3rd and long, but I think the Falcons are going to treat this like, I don't think you're going to see a punt. I think they're going to treat this like 2-down territory.
Perry in shotgun.
Should.
Motion. Perry
Perry pulls
keeps it
from the fullback,
himself.
keeps it himself.
Gets about 4. It's going to bring up 4th and short, and I think the Falcons will keep the offense on the field. Let's see.
Looks like a 3rd and a long.
I mean, why not? Their defense is doing really good. Coach's confidence calling the plays. And again, this is a good situation for the Falcons to take advantage, try to get more points.
A little longer than I thought it was going to be. 4th, and we'll call it 4. But if you're a numerologist or a poker player, it's 4th and 4 with the ball on the 44. So you got 4 4s.
Man, it makes me want to go home and drink some Flexol 454. Is that that's the massage thing, right?
Yeah.
Formula 44D. There it is.
Oh, my goodness.
Bingo.
4th down. Perry fakes the toss to Fine. Rolls right. Looking. Throws. Incomplete. We're looking for a flag. And there it comes from the back judge. Higgins hit the receiver at the same time but got there early. And I don't think Higgins meant to make contact. I don't think they saw each other.
Definitely unfortunate. They were looking for the ball, and he did make contact before the ball got there. You have to make a call like that. But, again, good effort.
It's going to be first down Falcons. I don't know if that ball was going to be caught or not because it was so early. It was hard to tell. But it was absolutely inadvertent, but it was definitely also a penalty because Higgins did get there. Not only that, he got him low because he didn't see the player. So it looks worse than it actually probably was. But it's going to be first down Falcons.
Shotgun, motion left, motion stays.
Perry keeps it. Pitches.
Tailback.
Has a man down the sideline. Porter Carter takes it in for the touchdown. And the Falcons on top 20-0. Porter Carter, the fleet, a sophomore, on a beautiful pitch from Perry and really untouched for another 6 for the Falcons.
I didn't even see the running back run. What I saw was some great blocking. They knew they had the numbers on that side. And starting from the center on up, doubling up, getting to the backer, they took the first and second level out of the play. Great stock block and left a beautiful open alley for him to just run right through. Great job by the Falcons.
20-0. Falcons on top. Another extra point coming. Gabriel Carey, the place kicker for the Falcons, the sophomore, trying to go 3 for 3. Timothy Miller will hold. Lowest snap. Miller gets it down. Carey gets the leg into it, and it's true. And with 59 seconds remaining in the first period, a disastrous first quarter for Waterford. A minute away from coming to an end, but Fitch on top, 21-0. You're watching Game Day live on theday.com.
The Day strives to cover stories our readers care about. With a feature called Curious CT, we make it easier for you to tell us what you want to know about the people, places, and issues in southeastern Connecticut. You submit a question, readers vote, and we investigate and report. Go to theday.com/CuriousCT for more details. You ask, you vote, we investigate.
Game Day is a production of The Day Publishing Company. If you'd like to support Game Day and help us continue to bring you the best in Connecticut high school sports, please consider purchasing a print or digital subscription to The Day at theday.com/subscribe. 21-0. Good games tonight around the ECC. Of course, we mentioned East Lyme at undefeated Stonington. That's right, undefeated Stonington. And if you wonder, when's the last time Stonington's been undefeated at 3-0? Go check out Mike DeMoro's high school football notes at theday.com. Also, Ledyard at Windham, another tough game. It doesn't get any easier for Ledyard after they got beat up by Montville last week. They've got to go to Windham, a very physical team, in the beautiful Whippet Sports Complex there on the campus of Windham High School. One of 2 teams with brand new turf fields, Griswold, of course, being the other. Another onside kick. And it's loose, but a flag on the play. So I'm not sure if it was an offsides. That's usually where that is, and it was.
Looks like the officials indicating offsides.
Another game tonight, Montville at Woodstock, and that's going to be interesting because Woodstock really struggling. Typically, that would be a game that Woodstock would be a heavy favorite, but they have really struggled this year. And then NFA, who plays probably the toughest schedule in the conference, doesn't get any easier because in conference they've got Killingly.
Yep.
And Killingly, coming off of their first win against Windham last week, now has a game against the big boys of NFA. So a good slate tonight in the ECC. We'll try to get you scores as they come in. Of course, we mentioned that Bacon Academy will be at Griswold tomorrow. That game has been moved to 2:15 and will be played at Griswold rather than at Bacon Academy. Griswold has a brand new, beautiful turf field, and Bacon has a grass field that is probably right now got ducks sitting on it.
Nothing to quack about that.
That's just foul. All right, 21-0. And the kickoff from Carey. Line drive.
By the Lancers at their own 45.
And good field position for Waterford. They'll get up close to midfield with 51 seconds remaining. So, you know, we're talking about ducks and fowl and birds and stuff. Our own Peter Wampy had quite an adventure today as he rescued a hawk.
Yes, he did.
An injured hawk was rescued by Peter Wampy. Yeah. There's no
A-
joke to be
a
made.
hawk? A chicken
no
hawk?
joke. No, an actual hawk, a real hawk.
Wow.
Rescued by our own Peter Wampy. So, Peter, you know, not only does he run everything here, he also saves
Oh,
hawks.
look at that. That's a nice little picture of the hawk.
Split wide to both sides. Higgins and shotgun.
First down, Lancers. Higgins,
Higgins
little end around.
to the left side.
Speller, nothing doing. Falcons, the first one there, Devin Cook, the freshman. Not only is he playing fullback tonight, he's playing linebacker, and he made a big hit there for a loss.
That was a great job by Devin. He had to stretch it out a little bit, and what he did was, we say, keep your feet under you. Kept his feet moving, square under, and then when he had a chance to wrap up, he did. Great job.
Second and long for Waterford is the loss of 3 on the play. And I'm still surprised we've only seen that one run from Higgins. I thought we'd see more out of him. And we haven't seen any real handoffs to Sutman. We've been seeing a little bit of spreading the wealth, but when you're down like this, sometimes it helps to rely on your playmakers.
Three receivers split to the right.
Motion is Westcott. Higgins on cue, gives it to Sutman. Sutman breaks a tackle. Look at Brady Sutman showing his speed now to the outside. Sutman, mush! Riggins-like! Touchdown Brady Sutman, and that's a candidate not just for your top 8, but for the play of the year, Sutman for 6.
Wow, Sutman, what a great run.
He showed vision and toughness at the line of scrimmage. He broke a tackle, then he showed his speed to the outside, and then he showed determination and power as he mushed the defender, cut it back inside for the touchdown at the end of the first quarter. Exactly what Waterford needed. It's 21-6, and Speller comes in for the extra point.
Great momentum change for the Lancers. Awesome play.
Good snap, good hold, the kick is up, and it is good. We're at the end of one period, a huge play for the Lancers. Get them on the board. It's 21-7 Falcons. You're watching Game Day live on theday.com.
Being part of a great community is so important. People helping and supporting others can be very uplifting and contagious. At Philomena's Restaurant, that's exactly what you get. It's the community hub for not just Waterford, but all of southeastern Connecticut. Birthday parties, anniversary dinners, weddings, sports banquets, a drink with friends, and of course, charity events. Philomena's has been, is, and will always be there for the community. Celebrate and support southeastern Connecticut at Philomena's. Philomena's, Utopia Plaza in Waterford.
Game Day is a production of The Day Publishing Company. If you'd like to support Game Day and help us continue to bring you the best in Connecticut high school sports, please consider purchasing a print or digital subscription to The Day at theday.com/subscribe. Huge play to end the first period as Brady Sutman scores a long touchdown for Waterford to bring them on the board. It's 21-7. They'll kick off from their own 40. And let's talk a little bit about what you saw on that play and what it should spark for Waterford.
Yeah, well, that run was actually designed to be on the right side. It was like a zone to the right. And Sutman saw the wave come in and slop, and he cut right back. And when he did that, he didn't just stop. He just went full jets. Everything was all upper body from there on in.
Ball's loose on the turf, and the Lancers have it. The Lancers have it. It was a pooch kick. It went off the hands of the Falcon receiver, and diving on the football was Eden Alexander, and a huge recovery, and just like that, momentum
Casey,
on the side of the Lancers.
The momentum is changing like a bachata dancer's hips, just left and right. This energy of this game, you thought it was going to be favoring the Falcons, and all of a sudden now they're coming back. That's the resiliency that I was looking for the Waterford Lancers, that youthfulness, but know that they're going to compete no matter what.
Well, we said, can they flip field position and get onto the Falcon side of things, and they do. A special teams first down. Lancers. Trip receivers to the left. Sutman stands to the right of Higgins. Higgins going to throw. He's looking deep. He's pressured. He's trying to elude one tackler, but he can't elude Jesse Torwella Hudson all the way back to the 50-yard line.
Casey, I love it, man. All-out blitz right off the first play is sometimes the high-risk, high-reward mentality. And right now the Falcons knew they had to do something really quick and puts them in a long, long field position right now for the Lancers.
I love what Waterford did. They did the same thing Fitch did. They said, we're going to go right for the big play. And you knew Gianni Drab was going to be in the backfield because he's in the backfield on every play. But Hudson that time was relentless. Got to Higgins, and it is second and a mile. All-out blitz. Beautiful call. Screen pass to Sutman. Breaks a tackle and wrestled down back almost to the original line of scrimmage, and there's Hudson again. And give him credit, because Sutman's not easy to bring down, and he had daylight.
Yeah, Jesse Torella held him by his fingernails right there in the jersey. Otherwise he would have taken off again. That was a great call. When you want to defeat all-out blitz, quick screens, quick pops like that really neutralize it. Great call by the Lancers.
I mean, Hudson was it.
Yeah.
There was no other Falcon defender within 10 yards. Not only does Sutman have a first down, if he gets through that tackle, he might have another 6.
Yep.
3rd and 14 from the 41-yard line.
Higgins in shotgun.
Higgins rolls, pressured, throws in the flat, and it's almost intercepted by Porter Carter off the fingertips of Westcott, and it'll be 4th down. And let's see if Waterford tries to punt and pinch Fitch back.
For the Lancers.
4th and 14 is a big ask, but they are in Falcon territory.
It's a very critical call at this time, and I think the Lancers are probably going to go for it. Or maybe, we got to be careful. It is getting colder. They might have a cold play and freeze it and try to see if they can get the defense to go off sides.
They can do that, get it back to the original line of scrimmage, make it 4th and 10. It makes it a little more doable.
Yep.
I know a lot of teams put in the freeze and go as well.
Mm-hmm.
They do the freeze play, see if you get a draw on off, and if you don't get the draw off, you go quick on a count. And
Quick on the count.
I like that too. A little bit of give you a little bit of everything. Problem with that is you see offenses jumping as much as you see the defenses jumping. Was I supposed to freeze?
I learned this. If it's not practice, we grew up that way. If it's not practice, it's not doable, right? And you got to have that practice every day in scenario practice. So hopefully we'll see what can happen here.
3 receivers split to the right.
Higgins. Will he have time on 4th and 14? He's going to throw. Has time. Deep ball. Looking for Speller, and it's just off his hands. 2 playmakers. Adonis Fine in coverage. Quinn Speller on the route. And just off of Speller's hands, and the Fitch defense holds.
That was a great effort, and great opportunity for them to make a big play. So close.
That was actually not Speller, so I'm gonna take that back. It was Dylan Mattis, and he had it off his fingertips on the great coverage from Fine. So I don't want to do a disservice to Mattis, because that was a great route, and he almost pulled it in. It was literally fingertips. But the Falcons hold, and they'll have it 1st and 10 at their own 40-yard line.
Miller split wide left for the Falcons. Motion left.
Perry
Pitches.
Toss. Fine. Nothing there. Well defended by Waterford, and Van Overloop, the first person there, knocks him out after a gain of 1.
One thing I admire about the Falcons is that they don't care if they run stretch away from the boundary or to the boundary. And sometimes when they run something like this that's really closer to the boundary, it's a setup to see what's going on backside. So as a top guy, we talk about coaches that are looking up top, how they could see the rotation. If they see the rotation fully rotating, then there's a one-on-one matchup coming up.
2nd and 9.
2 receivers split to each side. Perry in shotgun.
Perry
Motion. Perry keeps.
reverses,
Pitches
pitches right. Carter has it, crosses the 50, tripped up, but not until he has a first down, and the chains will move.
And right there, that was the responsibility of the safety. And the safety right now is 10 yards deep. There's the mismatch, and that's what coaches right now going to find a way to attack.
Into Lancer territory go the Falcons. It'll be 1st down with the ball at the 47-yard line. Falcons hustle up to the football.
Miller split wide left. Motion left.
Perry tosses to Fine. Fine, beautiful cut inside, and gains about 6. Nice job there by Adonis Fine, cutting it inside of Higgins.
Traditional Falcon football, chipping away what's given. They continue to find a way to see the mismatch off this option scheme and address it full speed. So right now they're attacking the outside, knowing that their defense is pretty much stacked inside.
2nd and 4, ball at the Lancer 41-yard line. This is the down and distance where the Falcons might take a shot too.
Definitely.
Perry, motion, keeps
it,
it, gonna throw, deep, has a man, tipped and almost intercepted by Speller, intended to Porter Carter, and I think if he maybe had 2 more yards, Carter has a touchdown, but instead just where Speller could get a hand on it.
Speller, knowing that he was playing a zone coverage right there when he dropped back, he kept his eyes on the quarterback, and that allowed him to make that play. I'll tell you, if he was 2 inches shorter, that would have been over his head.
If he was 2 inches taller, it would have been an interception.
True that.
And it was exactly as we said. That's the down and distance where Falcons like to take a shot.
Yep.
They took their shot. Now I'm going to call fullback dive.
This is the great play for the dive. Why not?
Fullback dive. First down. 30-yard line. On cue goes Devin Cook.
Tony Romo's got to get out the block. We're good tonight. We're feeling it.
I actually really do feel like I have I'm in sync with the Falcons and what they want to do.
Right.
I think I understand both Mike Ellis and their play callers as far as what they're trying to do, and it's, here's the thing. So does Waterford.
Yes.
But stopping it is an entirely different.
Yep. It's years and years of tradition, and that's something that I always admired. I probably have 7,000 hours of watching film from the Ellis family.
Motion left.
Fullback dive again. Big hole for Cook. Cook has another first down and gets down to almost the 20-yard line, or the 15-yard line. He's inside the 20.
The offensive line continue to build confidence and are pushing now the Lancer defense.
And we're going to get a timeout, Waterford, as the Falcons are in the red zone. And we'll take a quick break. 21-7 Falcons. You're watching Game Day live on theday.com. Well, as we head into a brand new season on Game Day, we want something brand new to come to all of you as well. Game Day launching its merchandise store for the first time. Now, as you know, greatness has no off-season, and Game Day has no off-season either. We're always working to provide you the best we can do, and that includes great merch. So come on into the merchandise store for Game Day. As the season progresses, who knows who's going to say what that'll make it onto the next Game Day t-shirt. Find out in the merch store. 21-7, Falcons driving. They're at the Waterford 16-yard line. Waterford just called a timeout to talk things over, as it's been sort of back and forth here between Coach Mike Ellis and Coach Seth Nolda as far as which is going to do what.
So I don't have any score updates for you yet, Casey, but I can give you some weather updates. We are happy we are on the eastern side of the state. It is nasty out west.
Gives to the fullback up the middle.
Some more of our colleagues around the state posting some videos from Monroe and from Shelton. And
heavy rain.
Over that.
You do not want to be on the western part of the state, which is why it makes sense why New York is getting hammered.
Yeah.
So we'll take it here in the southeastern corner of the state.
On top of the hill.
Yeah, I thought for sure, honestly, Stonington and here tonight we had a chance of getting wind and rain, but we're going to count our good fortune here. 2nd down and 9 for the Falcons. Ball at the 15-yard line. Perry. Carter in motion. Little counter goes to Fine. He breaks a tackle, and he'll be shoved out of bounds at the 12-yard line. So Adonis Fine making something out of nothing.
Yeah, good pursuit by the Lancers on that play.
Did we just, by praising the weather, doom our camera crew to a monsoon in the second half? Let's hope.
There's a really good chance of that, although I did hear that the weather forecast for tonight is spotty showers overnight. So that doesn't mean it won't pour at some point, but spotty. So if we did doom our camera crew, it's only temporary.
Yeah.
It's only temporary.
I want to know, have you ever seen the rain?
Nice.
Got one, right?
Can you stand the rain?
Oh, wow, you're bringing me some. Oh, BB. Was that Bill Biv DeVoe?
30.
35 for the Falcons.
Third down.
Wide to the left. Motion right by Porter.
Perry keeps it himself, and he's going to be close to the sticks. No, that was all of New Edition.
That was
not
all of
just
New
BB.
Edition.
Not
That's
just
right.
Bell Biv
New
DeVoe.
Edition.
All of New Edition.
You know, bands that had names before they became different name bands. That's what we got to find out.
Well, New Edition didn't become a different band. It's just that of Ronnie, Bobby, Ricky, and Mike, along with Ralph Tresvant.
Yes.
It was Bell, Biv, and DeVoe that
you're
formed
right.
BBD. Bobby Brown went on to his own career. So did Ralph Tresvant, and they brought Johnny Gill in to take Ralph Tresvant's
My.
place.
You got it down.
I was a huge New Edition fan.
You know, you sure look good tonight. I just want to give you props.
4th and short, 4th and 2, ball at the 9-yard line. Perry keeps it himself, and the Lancers get there, but I don't think in time. He crosses the 5. Let's see where they mark him.
Very close.
I think Perry, when he got slippery and turned his back, may have gotten the first down, but we'll be very close. Officials look, they assess, they talk, they decide. We actually need the chains.
The chains are being brought in.
Now,
wow.
as a member of the Bacon Academy chain crew, I can tell you this is a harrowing moment for the chain crew. You just want to make sure you do it right. All eyes are on you.
And they're going to come from across the other side. So here
Absolutely.
we go. This is going to be the trot. How is their footwork on the grass as they work their way across the field? It looks pretty good.
We got one chain guy who's trailing the play.
Now he's chugging it in. He's using
trailing.
his arms.
This is not going to work out well.
Build the momentum. That's what you got to do. Oh, he's slowing down right now.
He is trailing the play right now. He's a good 10 yards behind the. But you know what? He's making it work.
Yep, he's working on his hippiotomy on that one. He is trotting. He's going to get it. And I think
the other official's coming. Is the other official coming to help him out?
Yes, he is. Teamwork here.
Because he said, we are not going to make you walk the extra 20 yards.
Just keep him right there and let him get a bottle of water. Somebody run up the sidelines and give him a nice towel.
He should start walking back now.
Could be possible.
Start going back.
That'll help out a
back
lot.
There. Here it says, and I think he's going to have it. First and goal, Falcons.
And the Falcons. All that hard work pays off. Give a shout out to the chain crew today for their monumental moment, keeping the momentum.
Now the
Falcons side.
home team provides the chain, so that gentleman is thinking to himself, I better not walk all the way over there for us to be short.
I'll be honest with you, if I do chain gang, someone's going to give me a cheeseburger at the end of the game.
Well, there's supposed to be the whole point of the chains.
Because credit, right?
Is that when everyone's going, if you do field breakdown, everyone's going, you get whatever's left over at the stand.
My first job was in Little League. I was an umpire, and it was like a burger and a bag of Swedish fishes or squirrel nuts.
Swedish fish.
God bless them.
The late great Ned Gora used to say for every foul ball turned into the concession stand, you'd get a bag of Swedish fish.
That's right.
I lived off of Swedish fish when I was in Little League. Partly why I am pre-diabetic now.
Yep.
Perry rolls, one man to beat, reaches for the pylon, and he's in. Touchdown, Ben Perry. That was a little too easy, and the Falcons go on top 27-7.
I got to credit that offensive line for being so motivated to make sure that they execute their blocks there, because obviously he wasn't even touched.
Well, we haven't seen that play often from the Falcons where they faked and rolled.
Right. That usually stems off of a play action, and when you see a quarterback roll out like that, the first thing a linebacker sees is he's going to treat it as a pass, and he probably dropped back, didn't expect it to be a run play. But in situations like this, commit to the run. It's in the red zone.
Carry in for the extra point. He is 3 for 3, looking to go 4 for 4. That was a botched snap, so they're going to have to throw it, and that ball is loose, but that cannot be advanced. So the only thing that the Falcons haven't done right here is a missed extra point. It's 27-7, and we'll be back with more action. You're watching Game Day live on theday.com.
Being part of a great community is so important. People helping and supporting others can be very uplifting and contagious. At Philomena's Restaurant, that's exactly what you get. It's the community hub for not just Waterford, but all of southeastern Connecticut. Birthday parties, anniversary dinners, weddings, sports banquets, a drink with friends, and of course, charity events. Philomena's has been, is, and will always be there for the community. Celebrate and support southeastern Connecticut at Philomena's. Philomena's, Utopia Plaza in Waterford.
And we've had a lot of things over the course of the years on Game Day. We've had animals on the field.
True.
We've had to narrate those. We've had players that we've had to narrate. I don't think I've ever had to narrate the chain crew before, but as a loyal member of the chain
Definitely.
crew, I will tell you that my sympathies go out. It's a wet field.
Yep.
You got to protect yourself.
You got to give him a shout out. I mean, that's the sound of the men working on the chain gang. That's what he's supposed to be.
Sam Cook.
Sam Cook, bring it to you.
Well, listen, I'll stand by you with whatever you do.
You're on fire tonight. You're on fire.
Falcons will kick it off from their own 40-yard line. 6:21 remaining here in the first half, 27-7. It has been a Fitch half. And Waterford would be well served to take some time with this next possession and see if they can score before the half. Carry, squib, bounces off of Westcott, and Westcott picks it up at the 33-yard line. And I think that's been the message to both special teams tonight has been, we're not going to make anything easy. Everything's going to be a line drive. It's going to bounce. We're going to do something, make the receiving team stay both focused and make a play.
Yeah, well, this is good. This is what we're talking about with the grass. I mean, in a situation like this, I mean, when I coached with Jim and he gave me special teams obligations, one of the things if we're going to play a wet field, we're going to squib, we're going to work things like that. And the grass, wet, is actually a little bit more slicker than the turf.
Split to the left for the Lancers. Higgins and shotgun.
Higgins, little delayed handoff to Sutman. Sutman trying to bounce, but nothing there. Good job by the Falcon line. Grab one of them. Also coming off the line for the Falcons was William Lee, and that'll be 2nd down and 10.
2nd and 10 for the Lancers.
Yeah, that front 3 defensive linemen and nose guards are really holding those gaps from the first 5. And the outside linebackers are just coming in and flying around.
Higgins wants to throw. Blitz from the corners. Higgins steps up. He's got some room. Crosses midfield. Heads into the open. Cuts it back inside. Crosses the 30, where he's brought down by Powers. Or Edwards, rather. Devin Edwards brings him down at the 25-yard line, but a nice gain by Higgins, who felt the pressure and showed his elusiveness as a quarterback.
Well, that was a slant call with 2 outside blitz, but when you slant one side, you leave a gap the backside, and he saw it, took off.
Timeout, Falcons. We'll keep it here with 5:30 remaining in the half. And, you know, when we've seen a lot of highlights of Waterford success, it has been a lot of Higgins not just throwing the ball to open receivers, but Higgins with his legs.
Right.
And their RPOs have been a lot of quarterback keeper RPOs, similar to Fitch's in that first look with the dive to Sutman, and then Higgins keeping it a lot. And they've succeeded with play action off of that.
Right.
Tonight in the early going, it seemed like they didn't really establish the threat of Higgins running,
right,
and went to more of a traditional passing game. And I don't know that that's, you know, necessarily his strength yet, without sort of setting it up a little bit with
you always
play
want to
action.
start off with this first gear. What's his great, play? And that's why coaches will communicate with their quarterbacks before the game and say, hey, what are your first 5 plays you like? And then we build off of that. You know that he has elusiveness, and one of the things that I do like about him is that when you incorporate that into the mix and not just leave it, oh, it's not going to happen, the defense doesn't know what they have, expect. And so in that situation, that really turned over the momentum for the Lancers right there with his scrambling skills.
All right, first down, Waterford. Ball at the 34-yard line. Speller in motion.
29.
Handoff Sutman. And Sutman hit almost immediately. Nothing there. Great job again. Lee and the rest of the Falcons line stuffed Sutman.
Seems like their attitude on defense was stop Sutman first, get him into a long situation.
So,
loss of a yard. Clock ticks down to about 5 minutes. Waterford will get up on the ball.
2 receivers split to each side. Motion to the right. Higgins shotgun.
Higgins will keep it himself, and he's wrestled to the ground after a gain of 4.
Short gain on the play. Gain of about 3
Dylan
on the play
Beebe
for the Lancers.
on
Bring up
the
a look
tackle
at
for the
3rd and
Falcons.
9.
3rd and 9.
3 receivers split to the left for the Lancers.
Ball at the 35-yard line.
Higgins and shotgun.
Higgins to throw. Has time. In the flat. Off of Sutman's hands. Incomplete. I'm not sure what he would have done had he caught it, as McCoy was right there with him, and that's going to bring up 4th down.
Yeah, that was good man-to-man scheme right there, and a good matchup to have McCoy lined up against him. Usually we have a linebacker matchup, and that was a really good defensive call on that one.
Well, so the interesting thing was that Higgins had plenty of time, which he has not had a real clean pocket much of the night.
Right.
But I think part of the reason why he had so much time is because Fitch dropped into a soft zone.
Yes.
And that's why he went to his back into the flat.
Right.
And your point about McCoy being the defender and not a linebacker is well met, because Sutman against a linebacker is a mismatch in a lot of ways, and McCoy, being the great athlete that he is, was able to stay right there with him.
4th and 9 for the Lancers.
4th and 9, big play for the Waterford offense.
All right.
And we're going to get a timeout
Timeout called
by the Lancers. So with 4:28 remaining here in the first half, 27-7, Falcons on top. We'll take a quick break. You're watching Game Day live on theday.com. Fall is here, which means it's time for Game Day's Great 8. The best 8 plays of the week submitted by you, the viewers, on any of our social media platforms. You send us the best videos from practice or the game, any sport in the fall, and we might see about putting it on the Great 8 of the week. .4:28 remaining here in the first half, 27-7. The Falcons on top of the Lancers. You're watching Game Day live on theday.com. Casey O'Neill, along with the coach, Pasta Sanabria. And we are 4.5 minutes away from halftime, which means that we are short. You can see it. You can see it out in the distance. 3 pounds of pasta coming up at halftime. And last week, one of our pounds of pasta talked about the concession stands, and we mentioned the Falcons concession stand. I put it in my top 3. Well, Peter Wappy and I had a chance to visit the concession stand, and they had just made the burgers. We got the first 2 burgers off the grill.
Oh, with the seasoning in the grill.
Big 4th down play for the Lancers. Higgins pressured, nowhere to go. It's tipped and incomplete. He was hit right as he threw the football. Great pressure from Dylan Beebe. Turnover on downs, and the Falcons will take over.
That was a great, smart defensive series by the Falcons. Those coaches call the plays the way they've expected, probably during film. When you have a situation like that where they know they're going to either show pressure and then drop off, you only know that one guy was actually going to the quarterback while everybody was dropping off reading that screen. So it was a great play by that defense.
Falcons will have it now at their own 28-yard line. Plenty of time. 4:21 remaining in the half.
Break the huddle, 1st and 10 from row 27. Motion right by Porter Carter.
Perry, handoff, Cook, big hole, 1st down, crosses midfield. And the freshman, Devin Cook, has had a big night for the Falcons here in the first half.
Great run. Boy, they didn't look at the fullback at all in that play, and he took off right inside between the center guard, broke it out in 2nd level, and was just running straight down the field.
A couple of early scores. NFA 7-0 over Killingly. Stonington 6-0 over East Lyme, 2 of our premier games in the ECC tonight.
1st and 10 for the Falcons.
1st down Falcons. Carter goes in motion. Perry gives it right back to Cook. Ball loose, and I think Perry dove on it. I think Perry got it before Barnhill could fall on it, and it'll stay Falcon football, 2nd and 10.
That's a great job. Perry's such a smart quarterback, knowing that he knows every aspect of the play, and when that ball's fumbled, he's got to make sure he secures that ball.
2nd and 10 for the Falcons.
2nd and 10 Falcons. Clock ticking with 3:15 remaining here in the first half. Perry
Shotgun.
calmly looks over the defense. Sends his man in motion. Gives it to Cook. 1st down. Falcons as they cross the 35-yard line. Devin Cook, again, just churning up yards here, running off tackle on that dive over and over and over.
Devin is grinding. He's doing the hard work of an offense that's most important there. That fullback spot. Getting some yak yards here tonight. I would keep on feeding him.
2:40 remaining here in the half. The Falcons content. Let clock run. They're up 27-7 with the ball. Not quite knocking on the door yet, but certainly shouting from the street. Motion, Carter. Jet sweep, he gets it, nice cut, tries to bounce it outside, and a good tackle by Speller on the edge, but after a gain of 5 from Porter Carter.
The Ellis family, boy, do they have the trademarks. What they did there was they shifted the receiver and made it unbalanced by having an extra lineman there. The tight end actually moved up, or that wing moved up, and caused that leverage right there to be favored for them.
Under 2 minutes remaining, it'll be 2nd and 5. Call it 6. Do you want to call it short 6 or a long 5?
I would say a short 6, you know.
A short 6. Carter fakes. Perry, option, fine. He's got the wheels. Flag is going to come in, and that's going to likely negate an Adonis Fine touchdown because that flag is thrown right where it's going to be a hold against the Falcons, and that is going to negate a touchdown for Adonis Fine. That was a really well-designed play, well blocked, except for that block right there, which in fact was a hold against the Falcons.
Yeah, this offense, it seems like they've been here for most of the half. I mean, if we probably look at a possession comparison, Fitch has been holding the rock. You could see that the defense is just having their hands on their hips, and some of the things that we coaches, again, the top coaches giving them credit, when they see the players getting tired, they can always give advice to the coach to make a right play.
Falcons allowed a second and
So after the penalty's enforced, because it's a spot foul, it's going to be 2nd and 8
31-yard line.
with the ball at the 31-yard line.
Is that a short 8 or a long 8?
I think that's right on.
That's
8
right
on
on?
the nose. 8 on the nose.
That's what's
and,
up.
8 is enough.
8 is enough.
Fine motion. Perry keeps it himself.
Still on his feet.
And nice job by Ben Perry as he moves his legs and shows some strength and determination. He'll be short of the first, but it'll bring up 3rd and short. We'll call it 3rd and 2.
Looks like about
Seems like they've been having a good week of practice.
two for the Falcons.
Going to be 3rd and less than 2.
Motion to the right.
Jet sweep again to Carter. Carter bounces outside again, breaks a tackle. He'll have a first down. And the Falcons are in the red zone. It's going to be 1st and 10 from the 15-yard line.
Wow. You know what I admire about the running backs here with Fitch is just that they are elusive to working on getting off a tackle. As a person's trying to reach and get through the thigh board to wrap up, they use their hands, their forearms. They move their hips out. They're really doing a good job tonight with that.
1st and 10 from the 15-yard line. Toss to Fine. Fine tries to get outside and does, and he's dragged down beautifully by Higgins. And the Falcons will call a timeout as it is 36 seconds remaining here, and they're on top 27-7. That looks like it was no gain on the play, so it will be 2nd and 9.5. We'll say he got half a yard.
Pasta, you talked about the week of practice that Fitch had, and you brought up some traumatic memories for me talking about the old wet ball practice. I was a receiver a long, long time ago in high school, and that we dreaded seeing the coach come out with the 5-gallon buckets full of water.
Yep. Now imagine that in November. We had coach put ice water in there and leave footballs in there saturating during like at least lunchtime, just to show you the difference of how that plays. And it also helps the quarterback to understand the different weights. I mean, water getting on a football definitely could change the trajectory or a throw for a quarterback. So, this is why you practice those things, just in case a situation like that comes. If there's time, a quarterback can request a new football.
Makes it feel like a bag of bricks hitting your
Yeah.
hand.
Oh, yeah. It leaves indentations.
2nd and 9. Carter in motion. Perry runs option. Pitches to Fine, and well defended by Waterford. That was an excellent job. Westcott stayed with Fine. Clock's going to continue to run with 24 seconds remaining. 2nd is going to bring up 3rd and 7.
That was a smart move for the Lancers to tackle him inside and let that clock run out.
Falcons will get another playoff here. 3rd down. This could be the final one, however. Fakes toss. Perry rolls. Looking. Throws across his body. Touchdown! Adonis Fine with his 3rd of the half. And with 5 seconds remaining, the Falcons pad the lead, but there is a flag.
I don't know. I'm guessing there might be a lineman downfield. Let's see what happens.
An ineligible lineman downfield. When the quarterback rolls like that, it's always a danger. And that's the 2nd touchdown that Fine has had called back, in addition to the 2 he has.
Yeah, I was noticing as the quarterback started rolling out, some of the linemen thinking he might have kept it, that they stayed on their block and worked to the 2nd level. And again, that's just not allowed.
Actually, 2 penalties on the play, also a hold. So the downfield ineligible receiver will be declined, but they will enforce the holding penalty, which will back the Falcons up. And with 5.4 seconds remaining here in the half, Falcons have a chance for one last play only.
5 seconds left to go in the first half. Falcons
So ball's marked all the way back
The Lancer 32-yard line.
to the 17-yard line?
22-yard line.
22-yard line, all the way back to the 22-yard line. Last play of the half for the Falcons. Carter in motion, fake toss, Perry, time, deep ball, and it's incomplete over the head of McCoy, and that will take us to the end of the half. We are at halftime here at Fitch High School. The Falcons enjoy a 27-7 lead over the Lancers. We'll be back with halftime action, so stay tuned. You're watching Game Day live on theday.com.
Ever since I was a little kid, even in elementary school, I would just always buy really big books, and I wouldn't even read it. I would just look at the pictures of space and astronomy, and that was just so interesting to me, the stars and what's beyond. And I think I've kind of developed a keen on engineering because I'm very good at mathematics and science. So I've just kind of honed it down and realized I want to do something with space. I want to launch rockets into orbit and beyond.
Oh, I think, Gianni, when you talk about, people say they want a certain player to represent your program. I mean, he's the one. From an academic point of view, the classes that he takes up there in the school, his class ranking, things that most high school senior football players don't care about, he does. Part of the robotics club.
I've always wanted to become an aerospace engineer. And with robotics, it's really, really close to what I want to do. It's mechanical engineering, and I've been using CAD softwares and design to help engineer a robot. So it's very, very close and aligned to my career goals. Currently what we're doing in robotics is I'm helping revise a gearbox that I constructed during the actual build season. So what's happening is the motor is overheating because there's not enough torque in the gearbox to help lift an arm up and down. So I have to revise the gear ratio and also revise certain parts of the gearbox frame because the entire thing could just shatter into pieces and the motor could even overheat and turn on fire, which was a concern during the actual build season. So I have to make sure that doesn't happen. I think one of the very common areas is dividing and conquering between your the groups of, and teams. So for offense, you have the offensive line, you have all the running backs, you have the tight ends and the receivers. On the robotics team, you have design, mechanical, software, marketing, and electrical. So there are 5 different teams, and you have to all work together in unison to create an entire robot, just like how an offensive line and the running back at the QB form an offense, form the offense themselves.
He's someone who's going to be successful coming out of the program. He wants to continue to play football. We know he's going to do really well in school. He wants to go to a school that's challenging to him. And so again, that sets a precedent for some of the other kids that are here. That, listen, this is what you can do coming out of here if you put the work in, both up on the hill and then down here in the athletic arena.
It's time for Game Day's Grade 8 Plays of the Week. East Lyme Field Hockey freshman goalkeeper Emma Van Dusen. Penalty shot? No problem. Look at the save. 1-1 tie with Stonington. All the way from Massac boys soccer versus Immaculate. Kasper Merzinski, 33 yards out. Ghosts, Immaculate. Waterford football. Let's talk Jax Higgins and Quinn Speller. Higgins has the arm. Speller has the speed. How about elusiveness? Whoa! What? Let's see that again. Oh! Puts the brakes on for the touchdown. Ledyard boys soccer versus Fitch. Ben Crow fights the rain, fights the team, spins, shoots. Oh, what a goal from Crow. Waterford girls soccer at number 4. They're twinning. That's right, Charlotte and Paige Jessic. First, it's Charlotte, set up by her twin sister Paige, and then, let's flip the script. Charlotte to Paige, back to Charlotte, boom! Goal! Waterford as they beat Ledyard 5-0. Branford football. We had twin sisters. Well, how about some brotherly love in Branford? Akil Lamodi swats the pass. All right, to big brother Jelani, who returns it for the touchdown for Branford. At number 2, Ryder Manning, 7th grader from Pomfret. He plays for WPTP, and the Hawks know that Ryder can run. 90 yards down the sideline. Hawks beat Southbridge, Mass. 31-0. Football name, Ryder Manning. But at number 1, NFA boys soccer versus St. Bernard's. Let's start with Colton Hawkins. The free kick, save Hawkins. Oh, he lost it. Hawkins Another save. And then, oh, look at Cole Bray using his head. Those are the grade 8 plays of the week. Send us your plays and see if you can make next week's grade 8.
Greatness has no off season.
Not if you want to get faster.
Not if you want to get stronger.
Not if you want to get better.
This is where it all begins.
This is our playground.
This is where we get ready. Where we get faster. Where we get stronger. Where we get better.
For game day.
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 Greatness on game day.
It's game day!
Hey, Reef.
Do I know you?
Be careful, Avery.
Avery Mays, Waterford High School.
You gonna win again?
I don't know. I hope so. Are you?
I hope so too.
Over 20 submissions for this week's grade 8. Let's see who made it. Starting off at number 8, Waterford boys soccer hadn't beaten Stonington since 2018. But Griffin Neal's about to change all that. 1-on-4, no problem. Look at him rip it for the goal. Lancers win 2-1. Hey kids, you ever heard of John Riggins? Earl Campbell? Well, look him up, because Branford's Cole Snyder does his best imitation of the big guys. Breaking tackles, not to be brought down. 40-yard touchdown for Branford. Well, you know Killingly High School's Soren Reef. He's impossible to bring down. Load up the box. Watch him get the toss and run over. No, he's gonna throw it. Aiden Lamont wide open. Reef can do it all for Killingly. Let's go to number 5 and the Waterford girls soccer. Cameron Dickinson with the corner kick. Bullet high and over, and there's, Charlotte Jessic with the header. Lancers win, undefeated to start the season. You've heard of OBJ? Well, how about PMG? Stonington football quarterback Jaden Carter in the corner. Patrick McGugan with the one-handed grab for the Bears. Sometimes it's so pretty you need to see it twice. Look at Skylar Bell, the libero for East Lyme, digging it, keeping it alive, not once, but twice. Viking volleyball. Colby Cowan, Montville soccer. 35 yards out, not a problem. The laser, top shelf goal. Winner over St. Bernard's. But at number 1, let's get special. Special teams for East Lyme. Malachi Harris picks up the block from Cyrus Astaire, returns it, touchdown, 37-21 win over Woodstock. Those are your Grade 8 plays of the week. Let's see your plays for next week's Grade 8. Welcome to Game Days, Week 1, Grade 8 plays of the week. Let's start off with the New London High School Whalers. Quarterback Kiki Irizarry into traffic. Zuri Craig comes down with the touchdown. Whalers win 25-2 in Bobby Sanchez's coaching debut. New quarterback in Waterford, no problem. Jax Higgins, 51 yards to Devin Powers, 5 touchdowns for Higgins in his first varsity start at quarterback. New quarterback, how about a new name? Montville, the Wolves. Arian Castillo, 65-yard, pick 6. Take it to the house as the Wolves howl with a victory for Montville. Let's move over to East Lyme. Aiden Patterson, touchdown run to tie the game at 21 against Northwest United. Cuts it outside, heads down the sideline. Nobody's going to catch him, not even the guy sliding. Touchdown, Vikings, 84 yards to the house. Lots of news in the grade 8. How about a new turf field? Griswold with the beautiful home digs. And Kyle Montigny says, look at me go! 80 yards right up the chute, putting people in his dust. He's so fast, he can't even stay on his feet. Griswold wins. Massac of Monroe opening the second half by popping the champagne. Jason Champagne, 82 yards, helping Massac pull away from Killingly in the second half. Big victory on Killingly's home field. Let's go to girls soccer. Jordan Fabry, 42-yard free kick to secure the 1-1 tie with Bacon Academy. How did that go in the net? But not to be outdone. Brant Leonetti of East Lyme uses his head and the bicycle. He had a bicycle into the corner and the Vikings win 8-0. Those are your great 8 plays of the week. Don't forget to submit all your plays and maybe you can make next week's grade 8. Well, as we head into a brand new season on Game Day, we want something brand new to come to all of you as well. Game Day launching its merchandise store for the first time. Now, as you know, greatness has no off-season, and Game Day has no off-season either. We're always working to provide you the best we can do, and that includes great merch. So come on into the merchandise store for Game Day. As the season progresses, who knows who's going to say what that'll make it onto the next Game Day t-shirt. Find out in the merch store. We're at halftime at Dorfield, 27-7. The Falcons on top of the Waterford Lancers. And it's that time. It's time for 3 pounds of pasta. We're going to go with a little linguine today here at Fitch High School. And this, of course, is our time to get the coach, Pasta Santabria, in. I give him 3 questions, and he gives me all kinds of answers. First pound of pasta.
What do we got?
When you were a player, if you had to describe your playing style by using that of an animal, what animal would you have been, and what's the best animal to be a football player?
Wow, that's a good one. You know, I felt that when I started to play and earn the spot, that I felt like I was a little bear amongst bears. You know, I had to do my job to take care of my brothers. So the attitude of playing inside the trenches was really quick physical plays for 10 seconds, recovering, do it over and over and over again. So to me, the bear was the stability of what I would think, you know, was my persona on the football field.
You look, I think bear is what I would, yeah. Because they look like they're fun.
They're fun,
they look like they're cuddly.
Yeah,
right up until
and
they
then
bear
as soon as I snapped the ball, I'm like, it was that good, quick energy.
Yeah,
it was good flavor.
What would be the best animal for I mean, Tyreek Hill is the cheetah.
Yep.
What would be the best? What's the best animal to be a football player?
I mean, overall, I would say, you know, you're looking at the cats. I think felines are very good. Different kinds of cats, leopards, jaguars, lions. If you put them all on the football field, they have a lot of commonality, you know, in the sense of how they would attack things, how they would do things together. So uniformly, to me, I would say lions, leopards, jaguars, any of those species would be great on the football field. And I know that they kind of preach that on defense when it comes to, you know, even NFL teams. They always say, you got to emulate something like that. Speed, aggressiveness, and also an attitude.
All right, I got that one. Second pound of pasta. You know, possibly the funniest thing that Bill Belichick has ever said on camera was this past week when asked about Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift, biggest catch he's ever made. When you were in college, If you had been able to date anyone in the world when you were in college, what would have been your celebrity, pairing when you were in college?
Well, to be honest with you, there was two in my mind, and I think I married one that looked like one. God bless her. I was always a Lisa Bonet and a Halle Berry kind of guy.
Yeah.
I mean, they were very sensual, beautiful, natural, and to me, they had a little bite. That kind of attitude that you had to be that kind of person in order to attain their attention.
Yeah, Halle Berry was, for a period of time, possibly the best-looking woman I had ever seen. Lisa Bonet dated, I think, Jason Momoa recently, and that looked to me like the smelliest couple in Hollywood. They just looked like they smelled like patchouli and broken dreams. All right, 2 pounds of pasta in the books. The third pound of pasta. Lots of people get hyped up before games with variety, with music. Music's a known way to get hyped up. What is the most overrated genre of music to get hyped up on? What's the most underrated genre of music to get hyped up on?
Okay, I think rock and roll still, has so many features in it, but every school kind of uses the same similar concept. It's either going to be Thunderstruck or it's going to be Metallica. We know some college teams now still use it, like Virginia Tech. When they play Metallica, it's outrageous. So, but at the same time, we're like, I heard that in other stadiums. To me, I think right now it's like house music has a little way of bringing some kind of energy that I always felt was like, it's quiet before the storm kind of attitude. So that beat that's dun, 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 it just builds up and it brings into some kind of trance of energy. Yeah, I think that would be my flavor.
All right, so I'm going to flip it a little bit on you here. I'm a huge techno fan, a huge electronica fan.
Yeah.
I think that's an overrated hype,
right?
Because I find that a lot of them don't have lyrics.
Yes.
And lyrics are huge towards getting you pumped up. The can only get you so pumped up, though.
Exactly.
You need lyrics.
That's it.
Underrated. I agree with you 100% about rock and roll. But I'm not a huge, thrash metal guy.
Right.
But give me some Disturbed.
Yes.
Give me some Drowning Pool. Give me some
System of a
Korn.
Down,
System of that stuff is underrated for hype music. It gets me all fired up.
You're right. I mean, when I was at Stonington and coming and visiting, they used to listen to System of a Down. And that energy in that locker room before they got going was outstanding. I mean, the flavor. It was a small locker room, and to bring that energy on that with that music was a really good sight to see.
Well, that's 3 pounds of pasta, but there's always a little bit left. So there's a little extra bowl of pasta.
Right.
This is where we're going to bring Peter Wappy in.
Okay.
A little extra bowl of pasta. Before I give our little extra bowl, Peter, do you want to weigh in on any of the previous pounds of pasta? Do you have an opinion that you'd like to share?
Well, I was just thinking if you were going to ask me what kind of animal I was on the football field. So, in a world of lions and tigers, I was a hyena, just fighting for the scraps.
Oh, I like that.
That's a good one.
I like that.
I was not on the first team. I was a special teamer, and just
like that alpha pack mentality.
I'm gonna whatever I could to get in there and get whatever playing time I could.
I think I would have been a baby river otter.
Oh, that could be laying on your
laying
back.
On my back.
Sending, remember, they could take a rock and take the nut and crack it.
I choose
on the
not.
belly.
I choose not to be active, but yes, I. So here's a little extra. Okay, what is the most overrated tailgate food at a sporting event? The most overrated tailgate food. Peter, what do you think?
Hot dog.
Yeah, hot dog has become so brand bland. Unless you get the high qualities, you could admire it. But there's so many other things you could put on the grill, that you season the night before, like pork shoulders or chops, things like that you can really marinate. Now people do briskets. I mean, you never would have seen that, years back. But you're right, the hot dog's overrated.
I was this guy's tailgate.
I was at Gillette 2 weeks ago, and I saw a guy bring a smoker. Brought a smoker in the back of the truck to the tailgate. He was smoking ribs in the smoker. That was pretty good. But I think the most I'm gonna go. People are gonna go, you're crazy. I think wings are far and away the most overrated tailgate food, and here's why. Way too much work.
Way too much work.
Now you want to give me the boneless wings? Maybe I'm in, but those are tenders.
Well, one of the things I did, I went back and went to my roots, and I mastered a technique of how to take a wing. And wing food, you could actually take one and twist it, and when you twist it, you could get the whole thing out in one shot. But now that my teeth are kind of getting, a little old, it's not gripping like it used to be. So you're right, wings are definitely overrated.
Well, there's your 3 pounds of pasta, a little extra bowl. 12 minutes on the clock as we start the second half. Falcons on top, 27-7. Waterford kicking off. And they'll hit a line drive that's going to sail out of bounds. It's not actually going to sail out of bounds. It's going to hustle out of bounds, and it'll be good field position for Fitch to start the second half. What was your impressions of the Falcons in the first half?
Well, the first half I saw what, Coach always brings to the table, continuity, going to work together as a team. I felt like, honestly, between me being here in the, in the stands, I felt the connection between the head coach and the coaching staff up top. There was feedback that was being passed on, and that was the confidence and attitude when they were coming down from halftime. I think that right now, if they keep that going, they'll be successful.
Waterford obviously down 3 scores. This first defensive possession is going to be very important for them defensively. What did you see from them on the first half that you think should give them some signs of life for the second half?
Well, they pursued well. They were very physical, but they were out there too long. So if they stay with some great 3-and-outs, one thing I like about Waterford, they're successful when they get those 3-and-outs and good field position. So this is a good opportunity for them to pinch Falcons back.
They're looking to put the ball down on the 40, call it the 35-yard line. Now they're moving it to the 37-yard line.
Falcons to start 1st and 10 from their own 37.
So 1st and 10 Falcons from the 37-yard line.
Carrying shotgun.
Motion is Carter. Perry, fullback dive to Cook. Cook has the first down, breaks a tackle into the secondary of the Lancers and all the way to the 40-yard line of Waterford. Devin Cook has ripped off chunk after chunk, and he has gotten the Falcons in great shape here to start the second half.
Yeah, Devin Cook is just playing phenomenal tonight, and is the pulse of this first sets of offense. I mean, that fullback dive, we all talk about it, is a key component to the offense. And to gain yardage like that and be on the other side of the 50 in one play, just keep on running it till they can stop it.
Ball's going to be marked just shy of the 40-yard line. We'll call it the 41, and that play has been there all night long. Waterford has struggled to stop Cook. Fitch has done a brilliant job of timing that play. Timing's a little off, but Perry pitches it to Carter. Carter cuts it to the outside and gets pushed out of bounds, but multiple flags are thrown, and we'll see where that ends up being. That's usually a hold on the end. So we'll see if it is. It is, in fact, a hold. That'll back the Falcons up. And if there's been one thing that the Falcons have struggled with, it's been that hold.
Definitely.
That's the 3rd holding call against them in the last 2 drives.
Again, this is where coaches have to preach on staying on your feet, because things like that is when your footwork's not working or the weather starts to be a little slick and you start to pull that jersey, that referee sees it, he's going to throw it.
Bad hold, too, because it was, I hate to say unnecessary. Sometimes holds are necessary.
Right.
You want to not let your quarterback die.
Right.
But
it's facts.
Sometimes, and that seemed to be an unnecessary hold on the edge. It's going to back the Falcons up 1st and 16, almost to midfield. Toss, Fine. Fine gets speed to the outside, gets a great block from his receiver down the sideline, and almost to a first down. Nice run by Adonis Fine and a great block by Timothy Miller out there in the wide receiver spot.
Yeah, these offensive linemen for the Falcon, Brandon Wilson and Ryan, I think it's Obregon, Griffin Pollard, those guys are really pushing. The other one I know that he's really doing a good job is Gianni Drab.
First down for the Falcons.
And that's going to be a first down.
Good offensive line work right now.
First down, Falcons, ball at the 31-yard line. Motion man is Carter. Fullback dive to Cook. Cook, stiff arm, hit from behind, pushing the sticks. And first down, Falcons, as Devin Cook with another big gain.
About 11 yards on the play for Devin Cook.
A little concept about lineman blocking, one of the things that we always preach is finish the block by sealing the hole. Turning your body into it. Your back has always got to be in that gap, allowing that running back. When the center blocked that guy on that technique, at the end he just turned his body to give him like an open door to run that area right there.
First and 10. Perry rolls left. He's going to keep it himself. Has Cook as a blocker. Cook gets a block. Perry gets a step and a touchdown for the Falcons. Great run by Ben Perry following the block of Devin Cook, and the Falcons open the second half with 6.
Falcons 33-7.
Right at the 10-minute mark. Kerry will come in for the extra point for the Falcons.
The Falcons up for the extra point.
You know, I think if you do the muddle huddle, it should be that you're obligated to try it one time and not just be a show throughout the whole game. Make it more exciting to do.
Snap good, hold good, kick up and through. And with 10 minutes remaining in the third period, Falcons extend the lead. It's 34-7. You're watching Game Day live on theday.com.
Being part of a great community is so important. People helping and supporting others can be very uplifting and contagious. At Philomena's Restaurant, that's exactly what you get. It's the community hub for not just Waterford, but all of southeastern Connecticut. Birthday parties, anniversary dinners, weddings, sports banquets, a drink with friends, and of course, charity events. Philomena's has been, is, and will always be there for the community. Celebrate and support southeastern Connecticut at Philomena's. Philomena's, Utopia Plaza in Waterford.
10 minutes remaining here in the third period. The Falcons take the second half kickoff, go right down the field. Ben Perry caps it off with a touchdown, 34-7. Falcons on top. East Lyme has jumped up on Stonington. Is that 13-6 or 14-6? Was that 14-6 East Lyme over Stonington? We will effort a score from the NFA Killingly game as well. Last time we knew it was 7-0 NFA. I'm going to say that score has likely changed.
Left hash to the 40 for the Falcons.
Kerry will let it fly from the 40-yard line. Squibb on the ground.
Fielded cleanly by the Lancers. That's row 25.
Taken by Darian Sherwood. Sherwood crosses the 30 to the 35-yard line, and the Lancers will have their first possession of the second half at their own 35. I am all fueled up for the second half action. I had some delicious fruit snacks at halftime.
You did. You left out well, my friend.
Well, it was a gift from a favorite person of mine. Said it was homecoming here it's homecoming for the Falcons, and I got a nice little homecoming gift, a couple of packs of fruit snacks, so I am ready to go here for the second half. First down, Higgins rolls, looking, he's going to keep it himself, and he slips on the wet turf as he tried to cut inside, and probably cost himself 3 or 4 yards.
Yeah. I always reminded the team, you know, when you're getting out in the second half, one of the things we were always told, coaches walk the field and make sure that we see if there's any patches, because a situation like that definitely can put the offense in a tough situation.
So a loss of 3 on the play by Higgins. It'll be second down. High snap, quarterback keeper. Gets past the original line of scrimmage to the 40-yard line. It'll bring up 3rd and long. It'll be 3rd and 6.
Gain about 7 yards on the play. It'll be a 3rd and 6 for the Lancers from their own 40.
Waterford going full hurry up. Trailing 34-7. Good chance to work on NASCAR. Hard count. And did they get a Falcon to jump? It looks like they did.
Yeah, Devin Edwards' helmet just went across that line, and one of the things about that rule is that the defense cannot go back and reset. Once he breaks that plane and that judge sees that, he's going to throw the flag.
Against the Falcons, bring up
that'll get them into a first down situation, so 1st and 10 Waterford. Ball all the way to the 45-yard line of Waterford. Higgins, another quarterback keeper, takes it himself, tries to stiff arm, and gets about 5 yards before Fine bumps him out of bounds. I think he did cross over into Falcon territory.
That's what I love about Higgins, man. That kid is just playing hard. His jersey's all dirty. You know, this is what I love about football, that following day when you assign a coach. Back in the day, we were given a bottle of Lysol. Remember that? We used to wash our uniforms with Lysol. And now they got all kinds of things like OxyClean and all kinds of new detergents.
Yep. Don't give the kids white pants. I love a dirty uniform. 2nd and 5. Motion man is Speller. Hand off to Sutman. Sutman bounces off a tackle and crosses to the 45-yard line. That'll be enough to move the chains. Cook brought him down, but Sutman showing a little extra oomph.
He is running physical tonight.
And they're going to mark him short. They're going to say it's 3rd and half a yard. So Waterford goes up tight. Higgins under center. We're going to hand it off to Sutton. And I think that's going to be enough with the mark for the first down.
This is
Looks
close.
like it'll be a first down for the Lancers.
First down, Waterford.
Awesome.
It will be. 1st and 10 for the Lancers at the Falcon 45-yard line.
Looking ahead to next week, the Falcons will have a big one at NFA. They have a bye week, but on the 14th, it's a Saturday game at NFA. That's a big one for the Falcons. Mark that one down. And for Waterford, they'll come off of this game. They'll have a bye week, and they'll be at Ledyard on Friday the 13th.
Snap to the quarterback.
Something about that night.
Westcott on the end around, nothing there, gain of a yard.
Westcott on the carry for the Lancers. Looks like no gain on
You know, it was nothing better as an offensive lineman, you know, to have that sense of pride that when you finish a game and your jersey was really dirty from the front and not in the back, you know. It used to dictate how we played. Coaches used to credit us on how we played with our jerseys, you know. And then now when you're playing turf, you really take that historical component out of the way.
There was something about a Saturday morning game at New London High School or at Ledyard High School on the grass.
On the grass.
Dirty uniforms.
Maybe in a hurricane.
We did that too.
Second
Second down, high snap. Higgins handles, throws, has Speller, but it's dropped. Footsteps were coming from Sean Bussey, but it'll be 3rd down.
A lot of pressure there by the Falcon defense coming out from the edge. And they're doing a really good job moving their defensive linemen, you know, with some slants and some pinching in there, allowing the outside linebackers to have a good one-on-one matchup. It's very challenging for the Lancer offense, especially that they're young and they're growing into this game.
3rd down.
3rd and 9 for the Lancers.
Lancers with a long 3rd and 9. Higgins, quarterback keeper, some spot up the middle, but that room closed quickly and Cook tripped them up. It's going to bring up 4th down and short, but it'll be inside of 5 yards, maybe 4th and 4.
Yeah, they definitely have to go for it now if this is the opportunity that they take.
Clock running. 6:30 and counting here in the 3rd period.
Less oil, that's what it was, right?
Less oil.
Less oil. Yeah, it smelled, that one in King Pine. I grew up with that era. That smell of King Pine in the house, woo, made my nose burn.
Less oil was disgusting.
Yes, it was. I think it was like the cleaning version of castor oil.
4th and
6 for the Lancers.
5.5.
Wide to the right.
Higgins barking hard. Has time over the middle. Incomplete. Westcott was hit right at the sticks by Devin Edwards, and it goes incomplete. And the Falcon defense holds and will turn it over to their offense. We should remind you, of course, that Game Day is brought to you by Waterford Dental Health. Everything good begins with a smile. You know, part of the commitment of Waterford Dental Health is they're going to serve their patients well, providing information that helps them to make more informed decisions about their oral health needs. Go to waterforddentalhealth.com. It's a resource that you'll find both useful and interesting. waterforddentalhealth.com. Falcons run it on 1st down, and a couple of yards there for Cook.
On the carry, gain of
Clock will continue to run.
looks like about 3 yards on the play. We have a 2nd and 7 for the Falcons.
Of course, we are creeping up on Indigenous Peoples Day, and on Monday, the 9th of October, Game Day will be live at Mohegan Sun Arena.
Awesome.
Where we will have the Game Day Volleyball Invitational. 3 games on tap that day. Looking forward to Madison Canestrari joining me as my color person for 3 volleyball games. Perry keeps. Tosses to Fine. Fine has a 1st down and more as he crosses the 35-yard line. Waterford territory. Adonis Fine has also had a big night tonight. So Fine and Cook with a dash of Perry has the Falcons rolling.
Kind of like a Bayou Creole kind of seasoning that's just been playing out here tonight. The dark skies, and seems like that amber wave is just flowing across here. A little Clearwater revival moment there, poetry.
Perry,
Two receivers split wide to each side for the
so
Falcons.
patient. Motion man fine, ball on the turf. Perry, undaunted, keeps it, and now pitches in the option to Porter Carter, and Carter will have a first down. There's the veteran leadership
That is.
and experience of Ben Perry. That ball hit the turf. He did not panic.
No.
Picked it up calmly and knew where everyone was going to be and ran the play.
That's the experience of a young man that's been there, and it works with his coach well. I mean, he's a very disciplined young man. That poise to know, hey, it's going to be okay while I work this through, has been out there throughout the whole entire game.
So that's going to be a first down Falcons. Ball at the 22-yard line, so they're right on the outside of the red zone. Perry going to throw, has him in, but it's intercepted. Intercepted. Westcott all the way to the 40-yard line. The ball comes loose, but Waterford will retain. That looked like it was open. Carter was open, but the pass thrown just a little behind him, and Noah Westcott closed beautifully, and the interception, but there's flags on the play.
Noah's eyes were on that quarterback, and as he seen him throw the ball, he just jumped right under it. It's great technique that you want your defensive back safety to do, as far as just reading it and coming under it and making a play.
See what the officials come up with here for the flag. First one is against the Falcons.
Looks like there's an
unsportsmanlike conduct.
Hey, you almost won!
And we'll see what the second one is, or if that's the only one that both officials threw.
Seemed like a little bit of action after the
extracurricular
the
affairs.
Extracurricular.
Shenanigans.
Needed to be redirected.
Tomfoolery.
Avoiding dysregulation. I think Mr. Wilson would be very proud to use words like that. And also invest in EB. Remember that? He used to always tell us, invest in EB and an electric.
It wasn't
It'll
wrong.
stay there forever.
It wasn't wrong. Hey, listen.
Some great teachers, man.
If
Great
you
teachers.
were 18 years old and worked as a custodian at Pfizer, you are a millionaire.
You're a millionaire. Yeah. I admired those men. They were like our father figures there. Mr. Matthews, always carrying the anvil, testing our wits.
Still the strongest person I've ever seen.
Always.
I watched grown men. For those wondering what we're talking about, the great teacher at New England High School, John Matthews, had an actual anvil. He was the auto teacher, and in shop class, he had an actual anvil, and he would pick it up with his forearms like it was a loaf of bread. Right. And would challenge any student. And all the big football players would go in, the wrestlers would go in, and they'd try to lift the anvil. And they realized it was like somebody trying to pick up Thor's hammer that was not truly worthy.
Well said.
It didn't move at all.
I loved him. He always, I never had his class, but he was always welcoming in there, and he was just a great man. Great teachers out there. God bless him.
Waterford, they're sorting it out. Now, after all of that is said and done, it's going to remain Fitch ball. I'm not exactly sure how that happens. They must have offset the interception. They were.
A lot of explaining to do here for the coaches.
Perry's on the field, and the Falcons now have it.
The penalty against the Lynch has negated the interception.
So the Falcons are going to have the football, and I do not know how. You would think the penalty would have had to have occurred before the play, but the only penalty I saw called was the unsportsmanlike. And so the chains have reset, and it's going to be Falcon ball. We're still waiting for what the second penalty.
First and 10 for the Falcons from the 29-yard line.
Okay, so it looks like a roughing the passer call, which negates the interception. This time Adonis Fine on the end around, and he's got a room, and he's down inside the 10-yard line. So it's going to be first and goal. Another big run by Adonis Fine, but there's another flag on the play here as well.
Right in the middle of the field where I believe it could be holding.
And it is. That'll be against the Falcons. So to go back to what happened, it looks like in addition to the unsportsmanlike penalty, you had a roughing the passer penalty. So the roughing the passer penalty offsets the interception, and that's where they got the first down, and the unsportsmanlike got marked off, which is why it was first and 15.
You broke it down to the T. That's the old saying. goes.
So that play, as a spot foul, essentially will make it 1st and 11. So they lost a yard on the holding call.
On their own, on the Lancer 30.
Carter goes in motion. Perry hands it to Cook.
Up the middle.
Cook breaks one tackle, stays on his feet before wrestled to the ground by Tristan Beltran.
Number 61, Tristan Beltran on the play.
And that's going to be a gain of maybe 4 yards. It'll be 2nd and 6.
You're going to bring up a 2nd and 6 for the Falcons.
Great game. Killingly 29, NFA 21. So you got a barn burner. You know, and there have been some games in the history of game day that are classics. Killingly and NFA have put on some great ones. The hook and lateral at NFA, the miracle on senior night at NFA years ago was one of the best.
He just gave me an eye strain on that. The hook and ladder for the Wildcats.
Perry
Tremendous.
keeps it. No gain on 2nd down.
It seems like certain teams had that signature play, you know, and no matter how much you practice this, when they set you up for it was what made it phenomenal.
Final play of the game, Max Pierre-Louis pitched it, and the computer, can you remember who the touchdown the player was that scored the touchdown?
So I was not at that game, and so I don't remember, but I remember they had 2 guys running that route.
Yes.
And they pitched it to the second one. And
That's correct.
That was like the key on that play.
Old hook and ladder.
3rd and 9. Perry reverses field, runs option, keeps it himself. Slippery, but falls to the ground. And now, I thought in high school football, has that rule changed? I thought in high school football, when the knee touched the ground, you didn't have to be touched, you were down.
That should be.
Because I believe he touched the ground and they didn't blow the whistle, and then he got up and kept running. And maybe his knee didn't touch the ground, but
could be a foggy situation for the referees at that time. You know,
because I remember years ago in another great game day classic involving Fitch, the Bacon Academy Fitch game. Bacon Academy quarterback Sean Kelly slipped with no one rushing him and went to a knee, and the play was whistled dead, and it was a big sack for Fitch, even though no one touched him.
Yeah.
So it'll be 4th and 4. Ball at the 23-yard line. The clock ticking with under a minute remaining here in the 3rd period.
Motion right.
Perry throws, pressured, wide open, touchdown, number 3, Calvin McCoy. But there's a flag on the play. An eligible man downfield for the Falcons. That is the 3rd Falcon touchdown taken off the board by penalty.
Those flags today, they need fabric softener.
So that NFA touchdown was Andrew Cody.
Andrew Cody.
Peter's the man. He gets the facts.
It was a quick Twitter search. I wish I could say I remembered that one.
Max
I thought you was pulling out some like Magneto stuff. You turned around with like, there it is.
Max Pierre-Louis with a reception, toss to Andrew Cody.
Wow.
And touchdown. That was a great final play. Killingly was stunned. It was just a great night at NFA. So we're going to have 4th down and long now for the Falcons off of that penalty. Perry will throw on 4th down, has time, lofts it, back of the end zone, just out of the diving reach of Timothy Miller. And it will be incomplete, and Waterford will take over on downs. So you'll be happy to know. So you came onto the scene just late enough. When we do games at NFA, they don't have a press box.
Yeah,
they have the crow's nest.
Yeah, last year I thought you guys were going to send me up there. I was so nervous.
Well, for the first couple of years, we did it in the scaffolding, and we quickly realized we don't want to do that anymore.
No.
So we did it from the bleachers.
We did, yeah.
All right, much, much better. But you had to be there. You would have not enjoyed the 2 years that we did it from the scaffolding. That was not as easy to get up and down. Peter loved it, though. Peter was like rappelling off the side of the scaffolding to set up the mics.
You know, funny. I would take the scaffolding over that other side where we had to go up inside the gym in that little arch.
Crow's Nest.
Made me feel like I was in Amityville Harbor.
That's where we do basketball games.
Basketball game.
1st down, Lancers. They're their own 27-yard line. Higgins wants to throw. Deep ball down the sideline, launched and incomplete. He was looking for Mason Nosuri, and off the hands of the defender out there, Milner, and it's going to be second down, Waterford.
Yeah, the Falcon DBs know that they're going to be having a high percentage of passing in there, so they're keeping everything in front of them. And again, it's what you want to do is just kind of set that presence of getting a third and long for the Lancers to deal with.
33 seconds remaining in the third period. 2nd and 10, Lancers. Higgins to throw. Pressured. Was going to set up a screen, but nothing there. Throws it at the feet of Sutman, incomplete. It'll be third down.
Yeah, what the Falcons are playing right now is just kind of called two-man. You know, you have two high safeties, and then they're actually taking care of half the field while every other linebacker DB are responsible for the receivers down there. And that's just tough right now as they're jamming them off the line and disturbing the routes for the Lancers, not giving enough time to the quarterback to really throw a good route throw.
Who is the best team in the ECC is a question that I think a lot of people have. You know, everyone, Killingly has been the class, and they're 1-2, and tonight against NFA, they'll go a little ways towards establishing that claim, but the Falcons could move to 3-1. They've got that claim on their resumes. Stonington, if they can beat East Lyme, would go to 4-0, and they'd have a chance. Higgins buried, incomplete. Gianni Drab hit him as he was throwing, and there's no chance there. Now, we'll find out because Fitch plays next week at NFA and the week after that at Killingly. So we're going to get an answer to the Fitch NFA Killingly debate because NFA and Killingly are playing now, and Fitch is going to play both of them in the next 2 weeks. But if Stonington can find a way to beat East Lyme tonight, wouldn't that be fun?
It's good to see the young men work their way up.
Last time the Bears were 3-0, a young, handsome head coach by the name of Jim Bunicor was roaming the sidelines.
Really? Didn't know that.
That is correct.
He wore the white outfit, I bet, huh?
Punt. Speller hits it and taken on the run by Fine. Fine's got some room and heads down the sideline, where the Falcons will have it deep into Lancer territory with 11 seconds remaining in the third period. Yep, Coach Bunicor was had stops with Stonington and Fitch before he ended up in Ledyard, where he kind of made his home and is now obviously an administrator at Ledyard. But the last time Stonington started a season 3-0, he was the head coach. And if you want to learn more about that, including some of the names of the players from back then, again, go to theday.com. Mike Tomorrow's high school football notes talk all about Stonington.
Some great memories there, definitely.
Perry pitches to Fine. Fine's got a good block, cuts it inside, and tripped up at the 10-yard line. He'll be just outside the 10. They're going to run the clock here after they get up on the line. It's going to be first and goal, or actually it's going to be first and 10 just outside it. But they'll let the clock run out here. And that is it for 3 periods. We're at the end of 3. 34-7 Fitch. They're knocking on the door. Fourth quarter action on the other side. You're watching Game Day live on theday.com. Is a production of The Day Publishing Company. If you'd like to support Game Day and help us continue to bring you the best in Connecticut high school sports, please consider purchasing a print or digital subscription to The Day at theday.com/subscribe. After the game, follow Game Day CT on social media to see our pick for the Scient Federal Credit Union top play. Pave the way for your students' financial success with a MySci account from Scient Federal Credit Union. Open a high-yield MySci savings account today and help support a positive financial future for your student. Visit scientfcu.org to learn more.
Scient!
12 minutes remaining, 34-7, Falcons on top and knocking on the door. They're at the 11-yard line of the Lancers. Lots of plays to choose from tonight in what will be it's been a little bland of late, but there has no shortage of plays for the top play, any number of which could also end up in the Game Day's Grade 8 plays of the week. We are getting record numbers of Grade 8 submissions, and if your video does not make it, do not despair, keep sending them in because we're getting so many submissions for the grade 8. We love them all. We want desperately to showcase the area talent.
Definitely.
First down. Jet sweep to Carter, and he's tripped up in the backfield. Nicely done by Dylan Mattis. That it's going to be a loss on the play.
Awesome job by Dylan as he sees the jet motion. He actually worked up. We always tell our outside linebackers or DBs that are playing in that section to work your way up and then work towards the hip marker and keep him inside. That's where your help is at, and did a great job there.
Loss of maybe half a yard to a yard. It'll be 2nd and 11.
A little funny moment when Jimmy sat with me and said, hey, dude, we're going to go to coach somewhere else. And he said, we're going to go to Stonington and win. And I was just like, what? It was amazing how he had that vision.
Shotgun motion to the left by 5.
Whoa, off tackle, handoff to Cook, and he couldn't even get started as rushing there. First person was Devin Powers.
Devin Powers, wow, he read that, jumped right through the gap and lit him
Blew
up.
out the pilot lights.
Yes.
No chance to Cook.
No turkey on that one.
Yeah, I give Jimmy credit. He saw a talent pool in Stonington, and he was innovative. He brought a passing game and a spread offense to Stonington that hadn't been there. All the teams, back then, so many teams were running power I and wing T, and he spread it out and he had a really nice scheme, and you guys did a lot of good things. Perry to throw, rolls right, looking has Carter, but he doesn't see him until now. Instead, throws across his body. Touchdown, but I don't think that one is gonna count because I think it was again past the line of scrimmage. The pass was to Bernard Drayton, and I don't believe that one's going to stand. Either an ineligible man downfield or he was over the line. They're saying he was over the line of scrimmage.
A little bit of a Mahomes moment right there where he was trying to get that corner to suck in, but, you got to understand where your line of scrimmage is at.
I think it would be very exciting if football got rid of that rule and said as long as it's a forward pass, you could throw it at any time.
Casey, you're making everything offensive-minded.
At any time.
Poor defense will never have a chance to do anything with everything that's been supported by the offense.
Well, no, because on the other side of things, I think the defensive back should be able to be in a free-for-all with the wide receivers. I want them back to the 80s.
Oh,
I want you to maul the wide receivers.
If we could play the man press we used to play before, that would be great. That would be an awesome thing. Just to see high-quality competition like that was, to me, just a great experience.
Hey, how about Cole Phelan's 75-yard kickoff return to start the second half? Stonington East Line tied at 14.
Wow,
so
they're throwing it out there.
Stonington rebounds and comes right out, hits him in the chin, and it's 14 all in what is shaping up to be a really great game over at Stonington High School. We have a timeout on the field with the Falcons facing a 4th and 4. Say that one. Falcons facing a 4th and 14.
That's almost a tongue twister. I saw
the
tongue pop
say
up.
Say that 4 times. Say it 4 times fast.
I can't. All I can say is I was lucky to be part of 2 great experiences. One in New London, playing the longest game in history, and then being at Stonington and playing some of those games at Westerly Thanksgiving games, which I think was the longest Thanksgiving game in history. If I'm correct.
So the oldest high school rivalry, you were a football rivalry, you were a part of NFA in New London.
That's right.
But the longest consecutive, with no breaks, is Westerly Stonington.
Westerly Stonington, yeah. I got to tell you a story about the day that they started to like us coaches over there, and I was blessed with a stick of soupy, and I thought it was a little snack to have. I had it during the 2-a-days, second half of practice. Those players were like, "Coach, don't say nothing to me, please." I said, "If you don't, I'll keep on hustling and calling." And yeah, a little achita from the soupy.
Good
but
stuff.
was so good. It was so good.
Right down the road here, the Bridge Pizza Place, the deli, has a soupy pizza.
Really? Oh, you got me. I'm about to order one.
4th and 14. Perry rolls to his left. Has people in the pattern. Pressured, throws deep in the back of the end zone, incomplete. And the Waterford defense will hold.
Seems like Powers was right there to make the play at the quarterback. It's a good job for the Lancers. Now they got to take this energy and just transition it to the offense. Have a good drive. Sustainable drive will really help them out.
East Lyme said, all right, I'll take that haymaker, and I'll come right back and throw one of my own.
The Vikings always find a way to come back real quick, don't they?
21-14, Vikings on top of the Bears.
The Bears.
Waterford breaks
Some
the
great
huddle,
showdowns
first
this
and
week with
10.
the 0-3s, right?
From their own 15.
First down, Waterford from their own 15-yard line.
Shotgun.
Little
Big
trap,
counter.
trap inside. Not much there.
Short gain
Good
on the play.
pursuit by the interior of the Fitch line. Westcott was on the carry. It'll be second. Well, they're going to give him 5, more than I thought. Second and 5.
5 yards on the play for the Lancers. Be a 2nd and 5.
Love the little
From
counter
their
trap.
own 20-yard
Yeah, it's a
line.
great play. It's always a misdirection. Sometimes you can get big plays out of it. Sometimes it could just botch.
2nd and 5. Hand off Sutman.
Hands
He
off to Sutman.
stutter stepped the first tackler, but nothing there as the Falcons rushed to the football. It'll be no gain. 3rd and 5 upcoming for Waterford.
So good to see some of the players wipe the grass
Looks
off
like
their
they might take a
helmets,
loss on the play.
get a little
Bring up
mud
the
off their body,
36
and
for the
continue to
Lancers.
dig in and play like this. I really got annoyed with the pellets sometimes. And I was just a coach on the sideline. By the end of the game, I had so much on the side of my shoe and pants. I was so upset.
Well, you come home now off of even going down and doing interviews on the turf, or we film a video. You go home, you take your shoes off, and it's like being at the beach.
Yeah,
with pellets instead
pellets
of sand.
everywhere. Yeah.
My dog did not like those. She thought they were food, and quickly found out they're not. Higgins to throw in the flat. Oh, we got Speller. And Speller's going to have enough for a first down. That ball was almost intercepted in the flat. Carter was a hair slow, and it'll be a first down for the Lancers.
That was a great throw. Obviously, anything shorter than that would have been a pick, but it's a good positive drive right now for the Lancers.
1st and 10 for the Lancers.
1st and 10, Lancers. Hand off to
Hand
Sutman.
off to Sutman.
Not a lot there. Hit
Short
almost
gain on the
immediately.
Tackled by Devin Edwards.
Devin Edwards, who's had a very nice game at the linebacking spot for the Falcons with the tackles.
Yard on the play for the Lancers.
Yeah, Devin's been right there in the middle throughout the whole night, playing physical and really working hard for his defense.
Higgins in shotgun, drops back.
Higgins to throw. Pressured, stepped up, long ball, and he overthrows Speller, who had a step.
Yeah, it was a great play call for that defense. They jumped into a man-man, brought some pressure inside, and the ball was just overthrown.
Speller, who has exceptional speed, evidenced by the fact that he had Porter Carter beat in a foot race, and Carter can fly. He had a step on him, and Higgins just overthrew him, but what a nice ball from Higgins. Got that one out there a good 60 yards in the air.
No, Jax Higgins, man, he's working hard today. His jersey says it all. It's full of mud, and he's playing out there with a good attitude. What I do like is how he's trying to keep his team and the offense together and just try to go for that next play. Never frustrated, just kind of keeps himself composed and trying to get something going.
3rd and 9, 8 minutes and 6 seconds remaining here in the ball game. The Falcons will move it to 3 and 1 with their showdown at NFA. The Lancers will drop to 1 and 3 as they'll go to Ledyard next and off the bye week. Higgins, pressure up the middle, evades that, flips it out Mahomes style to Sutman, but nothing there. But heads up play from Higgins. The clock will run and it'll be 4th down.
Boy, was the floodgates open as that slant technique made a lot of the Lancers just discombobulated, and they went in there really quick.
Not much of a gain on
Jack Higgins trying to be a little Mahomes on that play. Did you see that one?
He was Mahomish.
Mahomish.
Mahomie. 4th down, looks like Waterford will punt. Fine stands at his own 35-yard line to receive. The always dangerous Adonis Fine now creeps up to his own 40. Good snap. It's a fake. And Speller takes it up the middle, and he's going to be well short as the Falcons were very prepared for that fake possibility.
Good discipline by the Falcons there as they knew that it could be a possibility of a run. They stayed home.
That penalty is declined. The Falcons will take over on down.
Falcons will have it. The penalty was declined, and 7 minutes remaining here in the ball game. The Falcons will take over in Waterford territory.
Falcons will take over 1st and 10 from the Lancer 35.
Now I'm expecting some of that Ellis tradition of ball control, starting with that traditional fullback dive. That's a spoonful that's going to be tough to eat there for the Lancers, as they still have a little ways to go. I mean, there were signs where they were showing really good, positive, discipline and technique. The conditioning was just a little bit off, but they're still resilient.
Ben Perry. Fine goes in motion. Perry's going to keep it himself. Rolls out right side, breaks a tackle, cuts it back inside, and crosses the 20-yard line into the 15-yard line. So it's going to be 1st and 10 at the 15 on a big run on the first down by Ben Perry.
This is such a psychological thing. The offensive linemen are just like in great energy. They're just running back into the huddle, giving each other high fives off their blocks. It's a good feeling when you could be that productive as a team and help the offense out. Good perimeter blocking by the Falcons.
First down, 14-yard line. Cook right behind Perry. Motion is fine. Perry hands off to Cook. Big hole, and rumbling to the end zone. Touchdown, Falcons. Devin Cook capping off a big night for the freshman fullback as he gets in the end zone, 40-7 Fitch.
What a good young man. I'll tell you, to me, he's the unsung hero of this offense, because it just definitely made everything else a lot easier for the offensive play calling. And the muddle huddle again, brother. They should go for 2.
Falcons to attempt the extra point.
I think you should have to make them block out there and kick it.
You know what? Not a bad idea.
Extra point is up and through by Carey, and with 6:18 remaining here in the ball game, 41-7. Falcons are on top. We'll take a quick break. You're watching Game Day Live on theday.com. Well, as we head into a brand new season on Game Day, we want something brand new to come to all of you as well. Game Day launching its merchandise store for the first time. Now, as you know, greatness has no off-season, and Game Day has no off-season either. We're always working to provide you the best we can do, and that includes great merch. So come on into the merchandise store for Game Day. As the season progresses, who knows who's going to say what that'll make it onto the next Game Day t-shirt. Find out in the merch store. We're back. 6 and change remaining here in the ball game. 41-7 Falcons on top of the Waterford Lancers. It's been a three-headed monster mostly for the Falcons tonight.
Yes.
Freshman fullback Devin Cook, senior wing Adonis Fine, and senior quarterback Ben Perry, with a dash of Porter Carter and a sprinkle of Calvin McCoy. And the line has done their jobs. Coach Ellis has got to be happy with the line play tonight.
Talk about a buoy base to great things right now. This is going to put them on the positive, and leading to these upcoming games is going to be a really good challenge for them. Defensively,
Gianni Drab has been fabulous. Linebacking core, Devin Edwards has been all over the place. It's been a very solid effort. They are one incredible Herculean Brady Sutman effort away from throwing a shutout right now.
Yeah.
Carey will kick it off. And he squibs it. And it's going to be on the turf. Sutman falls on it at the 41-yard line, and that's where Waterford will have it 1st and 10. 36-21, Killingly on top of NFA. That Killingly offense has gotten better and better these last couple of weeks. They've been putting up points against good defenses at Wyndham and NFA.
That power football is amazing.
East Lyme 21, Stonington 20. The Bears hanging around with the Vikings. That one's going to be a ball game.
1st and 10 at their own 41.
Waterford with 6:14 remaining. High snap. Higgins has it, wants to throw. Now rolls right, launches it deep downfield, has a man, and it's incomplete. Just off the fingertips of Darian Sherwood. What a Great ball by Higgins, and I thought
So
Sherwood was
close.
going to run underneath it, and it
So
just
close.
sailed.
You know, when you look at wide receivers, you can tell the difference between those that have been practicing that. You see him when he started to run, he's looking up. He breaks his form. We always tell the receivers, continue to run with your form, and in the last minute, you work on reaching and catching. That could have been a catchable ball, but things like that, when it happens, you know, you get a little awe, you kind of look up there, and you lose your form, you break your technique, and that's when you mess your route up.
You know, and he's a long receiver is Sherwood, and the gait broke. You know, as he was in stride. You talk about getting caught, you know, catching it in stride.
Yep.
He broke stride, and when you're a horse or a long receiver like that, and you break stride, it becomes very difficult. Just the timing.
To the right.
Little jet sweep to Westcott. Westcott will rip off 9 yards and cross midfield. He'll be close to the sticks.
Definitely a good run play right there for the Lancers.
Gonna mark it right at midfield. 3rd and 1, Waterford.
Third and 1.
Higgins gives to Sutman. Sutman will have enough for the first down. A great effort by the Fitch defense, but it'll be enough to move the chains and get into Fitch territory. Of course, after the ball game, you're going to want to find us on social media at Game Day CT, not only for the Scient play of the game, but for our interview with the player of the game as well. No shortage of candidates for tonight's player of the game here at Fitch High School. Waterford will have it 1st and 10 as they cross midfield.
Falcon side of the 50. Higgins drops back.
Higgins throws. Westcott looks up, and he was well covered by Mark McBride, and it will fall incomplete.
Yeah, the defense that's being called right now is really good coverage in situations like this, just trying to keep those guys right in front of them, knowing they have a good lead. Don't want to make a big play out of it.
2nd and 10, 5:02 remaining in the ball game.
Three receivers split to the left for the Lancers. Higgins in shotgun.
Higgins is going to keep it himself.
Trying to foul his blockers. Across the 40.
Gets a nice block on the hash and cuts it towards the stick where it'll be marked just shy. It'll be 3rd and maybe a yard as the clock continues to run.
You know, I always got to give credit to Fitch High School's booth. You know, they're very high, kind of feel like you're in a stadium. You know, the atmosphere here is really good tonight. Great night for football.
Sutman has the first down, spins, jukes, and gets close to the 30-yard line. It'll move the chains. 1st down, Lancers.
What do you think has been your favorite booth to be participating in and announcing?
My favorite booth?
That's a good question there, right? Send you right back to Norwich up in the tower.
Well, I'm actually going to give that a little bit of thought.
Yeah, think
Higgins going to throw, pressured, steps up, breaks a tackle, still on his feet. What an effort from Jax Higgins, leaps into the air and almost to the 1st down marker. What an individual effort from the junior Jax Higgins.
He is giving his all. He's throwing it all out there on the field. Kind of reminds me of Kurt Russell in the movie with Robin Williams, where they were the team that tried to
best of times.
Best of times, just not giving up at all. His jersey deserves to be washed clean. He's a good young man, working hard.
Taft High School.
Taft High School. Man, boy, you bringing the stats. You've been great tonight, Case.
Kurt Russell.
2nd and 1. Spread set. Higgins in shotgun. Gives to Sutman up the middle.
Sutman with a hole, off tackle. Hurdles in the air, has the 1st down to the 15-yard line. Chains will move again. Lancers on the move. You know, in terms of press boxes, this one is high on the list because it's never a full house. We have plenty of room.
Yeah, definitely good space here.
Which I love. Some of the other press boxes were jammed in. As much as I like being there, not a lot of space.
Last week we were like a sardine together, though. It was comfortable.
Higgins to throw in the flat, and it's incomplete. And I think they're going to say that was. They're going to say it was a backwards pass, but he fell on it either way. I'm curious to see what Peter thinks about that. What's the best? What's your favorite
You're the setup
press
man,
box?
that's right, brother. What's your favorite one?
I think my favorite press box experience was Valley Regional, where we were in a room about 1/3 this size.
Yeah.
There were 3 of us, the timekeeper, the announcer, the scorekeeper, and 6 kids singing the national anthem.
That is
Wow.
true. That is true. But speaking of good concession stands, that was right outside the booth as well. And the burger smell was intense. Higgins is going to throw. Dumps off a middle screen to Sutman. Sutman has blockers. Sutman bounces it, dragging a Fitch defender, and he'll get back to the line of scrimmage, and it's going to be 4th and 10.
So Sutman is putting it out there today again. Those two guys, Sutman and Higgins.
3rd and 10. Check that.
I will always put the Hill at Valley Regional as one of the best high school football settings around here.
I would agree. And the crowd they had that they turned out for those games when they were, and I mean, we haven't been there in a couple of years, but the crowd was fabulous. Lots of people, great atmosphere. That's a good, you know what, as far as high school atmospheres, that's high on our list, I would agree.
A lot of good tradition over there, definitely.
But most press boxes, the current New London press box, we seem to have some room. But so many press boxes were jammed in with no room. Higgins to throw high through the hands of Speller. It'll bring up 4th down. For example, I love Stonington. And they have 2 press boxes, but we have one small little section in Stonington because they only use 1 press box. Killingly, that's a nice experience,
Yeah.
but we're kind of tight there too.
It is tight there.
So it's really, nothing wrong with Waterford. Got a lot of room there as well. For me, it's just about room. All the viewpoints are the same. I think it's just about view, and how much room they give me. I'm not a small person.
Neither am I.
No,
I was told that the other day.
We need a little bit of wiggle room.
They were like, "Hey, big dude."
4th and 10. Higgins has time, throws high and overshoots his receiver. Incomplete, and Fitch will take over with 1:22 remaining in the ballgame.
So this is probably, as you can see here, some of the most elbow room that we've had all season. So our appreciation to Mark Milano and the staff here at Fitch.
Mad love. Thank you, Mark, for thinking of me. 6XL plus all day. Love you.
So the experience we talked about, I think when we look back at the press box experience, that one at Valley stands out, and obviously the other one being, of course, the press box at Killingly in the monsoon with the rain raining inside of the press box. Victory formation for the Falcons, so they're going to take a knee here and let the clock run. That will go down as one of my favorites. But my all-time favorite press box experience occurred pre-game day. Mike McLaughlin, the great Mike McLaughlin, who is here tonight broadcasting as well, and I were doing a game at New London High School in the old press box.
Old press box.
And the old press box
wooden steps?
had wooden. They weren't wooden with windows.
Wooden panels, yeah.
And they went up and they hooked up on the ceiling.
And if that broke,
it
your
did.
head's gone. Yeah.
It did. It swung down. It hit me in the back of the head, gave me what I do believe is one of my 2 concussions in my life.
Wow.
In the middle of a call.
In the middle of a call?
In the middle of a call. Like, Jones at the 30, 35, cow!
Yeah. We have time for a technical break as his head's trying to be
Mike picked it up, kept talking, and I came up. I was seeing cross-eyed. I was seeing the little birdies flying up, and
I wish Doc was there so he could crack a smelling salt and put it right up your nose like he used to back in the day.
I could have used it. We're going to let the clock run out here, and the clock is going to run out on the Waterford High School Lancers. The Falcons of Fitch on homecoming with a 41-7 win over Waterford High School. The Falcons will move to 3-1 and have a bye week before heading to Norwich Free Academy. Waterford falls to 1-3, and they'll be at Ledyard after their bye week. What's next for us? October 9th at Mohegan Sun Arena, the volleyball invitational. 3 games at the Sun, and then we'll be back with more football on Friday the 13th. Stay tuned, of course, for the Scient play of the game as well as the player of the game on all of our social media at Game Day CT. For the coach, Pasta Santabria, Peter Wappy, and the crew, I'm Casey O'Neill. You have been watching Game Day live on theday.com.